Guys, it is a super important day in human history today. Super important.
Why?
2022. It happens once every billion years.
Oh shit!
Oh
that's
shoot!
right.
Not even
On
buy
a
lottery tickets.
Tuesday. Fucking
Wow,
once in
I did not
once
put
in
any of that together.
a universe occurrence. Never happened before.
They pretty much declared a Cold War today, so that'll go
What
down in
about
history too.
January 1st, 11/11.
Wow.
But did it happen
Those
on a
are ones.
Wednesday? Oh, happens on a Tuesday today.
What's even crazier is at 2:22 today. That was twice. Did you make a wish?
I
No,
did.
I
Bro.
That's
I was
even
asleep for
crazier.
the first
I
one.
did.
I didn't even.
And
think
did you eat
about it.
tacos?
Can someone remind me next?
That's
next
a lot of
whatever
At
billion.
Fuck.
222.
In
If you
200
were
years.
Just
celebrating
blew my
Taco
fucking
Tuesday
mind.
on 2/2/22.
At
And the club's going up
2:22,
too.
Wow, could everybody stop spitting at me?
You gotta get two tacos.
Does it count if I was taking a deuce at 222?
It does.
Wow.
That is
Dude,
the
that's a
Fucking
magical
Kind of if I was
bro.
talking to Katri.
Wow.
How do you say two in Mexican?
And we also started. We also started.
Spanish.
Really racial.
Mexican.
Oh, sorry, Spanish. That's what I meant.
Spanish.
Sorry, Spanish.
We
Spanish.
also
is what I
started
meant.
Cold War 2 today, so that's cool.
Are
Yeah,
you an
Cold War.
angel? What? An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
You've got a billion toys.
You brought in the adult collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Jonathan.
Jesus Christ.
I'm Danny.
I'm Sean.
Whoa.
What is happening?
Oh boy, that's kickstarted.
And I'm Marco.
They're listening. You see?
I was muted, man. God.
Yeah, I hate to see it. You love and hate to see it. Let's try that again. Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
Oh my god. Just welcome to this week's episode of
I was
Collecting
ready.
Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank our friends over at Whoa.
Holy
Wow,
Mike, this
what
is
the hell is happening?
It's just muscle memery. I miss
Two,
him.
two,
I'm
two,
sorry.
two, two, two.
Wow.
the Russians
We
are
want to
in.
thank our friends over
Take
at
2 on 2/2/22 Tuesday. Let's start it all the way from the top. All the way from the
Just
top.
start the whole flipping
All-
sequence,
yeah,
the
start
whole
the
everything.
whole show.
Just can't
all
just
over
do a
again.
whole new stream.
Here we go. Let's do it. Let's start it all over again.
Are you an angel? What? An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
You've got a billion toys.
You brought in the adult collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Eddie.
What is happening?
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Danny.
I'm Sean.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Marco.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank our friends over at 1/6 Corner for sponsoring this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. Guys, don't forget, head over to 16corner.com and use code CW10, that's capital CW10, during our live recording for 10% off all in-stock items.
We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. Tons of discussion that's going to be had on this DeLorean. I know a lot of people in the chat are already very excited for this. DJ says, I can't wait for it. Well, you won't have to wait long, my friend. We're also going to talk about how you collect. Dean and I had a very interesting discussion about that. And I want to hear from the panel. I want to hear from the chat. And I want to hear what you guys got new this week.
You guys ready?
It's new this week.
Yeah, what'd you get new this week? I got a bunch of comics. I'm saving those for Friday with John on Collectors Club. Make sure you tune in. What about you guys?
Oh, this is me. This just came in today, maybe an hour ago. I got my Ultimate Fallout 4 from CGC, so graded. But we're going to save it for Friday's Collectors Club.
Wow. I feel like Collectors Club is taking content from CW. What the fuck?
That's
Just
more
kidding.
of a comic show, so we're going to
I'm
get
just
the grade
kidding.
reveal.
Danny, tell us what some of these numbers mean here.
So this was the slide that I made with the fair market value of the book at the time I sent it in, which was mid-November, I believe, of last year. So 9.8 was 9.8 was 2,662, 9.6 was 897, and 9.4 was 679. And the raw was 624 at the near mint grade that I put it at. But I put it at either, at minimum, I had a 9.4, I think. And then a 9.6 would be great. But if the presser, Eric from Comic Book Pressing, does magic and gets me a 9.8, then that would be the absolute perfect scenario. So this is the new values, which is I just pulled them up an hour ago, which is 9.8 just went up to 3,555. 9.6 went up to 1,394. 9.4 is now 1,337, and 9.2 is 733. So hopefully it's 9.4 and over, but I'd be happy still with a 9.2 because I paid $2.99 for the book when it first came out.
God damn. Danny, if you get a 9.8 or a 9.6, is this a book that you'll hold on to, or I know you have like this grand scheme of getting an X-Man #1. Is this going towards that, or is this like a keeper for you?
I would think it's a keeper because I think I very much feel like Miles Morales is like the next winning horse. You know what I mean? The best horse to bet on for long term.
Yeah.
So, but it all depends too. If I come across an X-Men #1 that I need, like if all the planets align and everything, and like I want I guess like a 2.5 to a 3.0 X-Men #1. If I need, if it comes up, one for sale nearby, and I need the funds, the ammo real quick, I could see myself selling this right away to fund it, to help fund it.
And you do not know the grade, right? That's in the box.
I do not. So I'm hoping I think it's 9.4 at minimum. Could be 9.2, but I'm guessing 9.4, 9.6 at the very highest, and 9.8 if some magic was worked.
There you go. We got Toy Mafia, Tukatri, Punisher XS, Ben Thomas, Ninja Squirrel, Doc Smizzle, Pablo Meza, Equan says, "What's up, dudes?" Andrew Gibo, OG fan, Mark, the Sweet Angel Pearson, John Ortiz, Lane Kramer, Paul Schreiber, Daminator. Shout out to Daminator, one of our newest Patreonies. KJ Smith. Lots of reissues already going on in the chats. You love to see that. We have Benjamin Rue, single songwriter DJ, Toy Mafia, Eddie Aero Maestro, hashtag Eddie's Together Strong. We also have Sweet Danny Lee in the chat. Good
Wait,
luck,
that's
man.
not
I'm
me.
really. Oh, wow, another Danny.
What's up, Danny?
Two of them now. Useby, what'd you get?
Yeah, this is me. So I too got a bunch of comics, but I need to sort through them to see what I actually got because I don't remember. I kind of went on that tear last week, but definitely got some. But yeah, these two are kind of something that I've been excited about for a while. The meme one, the one in the yellow suit, was a STCC 2021, I think, exclusive, and it comes just like that. I forget what the numbered edition is, but I think it's like 3,000, maybe a little bit less. And then the brown suit there went up for pre-order a few months later, and it's got like an edition size of I think like 700. I think I'd have to check the boxes, but yeah, super stoked. They're 6 scale. I haven't opened them yet. I'm not sure I will. I think these ones might stay in the box. I might open one. I got 2 of each, so we'll see. But yeah, this is classic, animated series X-Men, and I love it, so I had to get it. So yeah, these are my kind of latest pickups. I'm going to get some stuff coming in tomorrow from Time Walker. So I think 2 or 3 figures from Hot Toys I'll be having there. So yeah, super stoked on these.
Wait, is the brown suit going to be in the bed also?
No, the brown suit's not in the bed. The brown suit's in a standard sort of, clamshell box. But
the yellow one, you don't even need to take it out of the package. It's perfect the way it is.
Exactly. I mean, that's that's how it's displayed anyway. So yeah, super stoked on these.
I missed David Jones, Sean Lockridge, and Brenton on the shout out. Brenton says, I see how it is. I must be on Zach's shit list too. Oh, Brenton, you sweet, sweet angel. Marco, what'd you get?
Yeah, so this Golden Armor Wonder Woman was definitely one that I had written off because, number one, the rooted hair. I don't really mess with rooted hair. And then when those first promo pictures came out, it looked awful, the sculpted. And so I said, okay, I wasn't even planning to get it. I can write this one off. But the more I saw on it, that the helmeted look with the rooted hair and just the armor on the shelf, it looked beautiful. So, and this is one that Gigi kind of said, this is really cool. And so I was kind of debating the deluxe, which I don't really have the space for. And so I decided to, save the $60 and just go with the standard version, which still has the wings just kind of folded up. So yeah, really excited to unbox this one. Haven't even opened it. Haven't even taken a look. It just came. So yeah, excited to finally get her displayed with my Batman and my Superman.
You also finished some lighting on your display cases on Instagram. How'd that go?
Yeah. So I did get the Luke lights, and so I had done 2 out of the 3 DTOFs. Oh my gosh, Gigi's already throwing shade.
Says, I hate that Marco got this. Spend more to get the bigger one. Boo this man.
With the way my tax works, it would have been $120 extra. I just couldn't justify that. But, so on the DTOF lighting, finally finished it. And I think the display's looking good. I wish I had room for, 2 to 3 more DTOFs, but, I'll deal with what I can get right now. And yeah, I really could recommend the Luke lights, even though they are overpriced. The translucent wire just really kind of makes for a clean display.
Congratulations. We also got a new YouTube member, Daminator. Shout out to Daminator, supporting the stream with the channel membership. You'll love to see it.
Thanks, buddy.
Eddie, Fern, John, did you guys get anything new this week?
I got some comics as well that I'm going to be saving for Friday, but on the figure front, no, nothing too exciting.
Same thing for me. Just a couple of comics.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
I got the last night I posted on Ox that the Kingsman trilogy kind of steelbooks were releasing today, and then the Green Mile and steelbook or 4K was releasing today. So I picked the Green Mile was online only, so I ordered that. That's shit. I got the shipping notification today, and then I picked these up in store today. This is Kingsman Secret Service, Kingsman the Golden Circle, and then the new one that was the Kingsman. The new one is, I like it. It's good. It's different than the first 2, and they're all the same director as well, but I still enjoyed it. The first 2 are obviously better. They're my favorite, but those were some cool pickups.
I think I've only seen one of those movies, but I've always wanted to watch the trilogy. I think I'm gonna have to do that eventually. The Kingsman.
Did you see the one with Elton John, or did you see?
I think
the
it
first
was
one with Samuel.
It's the one where the guy does the "Take Me Home" song at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Or,
that's Elton John. That's Golden
Elton
Circle.
John in that movie.
Wait, was that really Elton John, or was it a lookalike?
No, it was Elton John. He did.
I
He
totally
did
missed that.
Saturday.
Wow.
He was
Really?
playing Saturday while they were fighting.
What a weird
It's
trilogy.
in Golden Circle.
I heard there's a pretty crazy post-credit scene in this most recent one too. I won't spoil it, but I heard it's pretty insane.
Don't spoil it, bro. I had a crazy week. So I hit up Steven on Friday, and I was like, yo, man, like, I've had this on pre-order since June, and, you know, I kind of really haven't seen anyone getting, like, the next batch. Do you know what's going on? And he was like, yeah, you know, I think it's going to charge soon. I don't know. And so I get a call today, and he's like, yo, bro, your Crown Series Gandalf is in. It was my birthday present from June. And, of course, I hurried to go and get it.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. And holy shit, this figure is fucking bananas. It definitely has its problems. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's, like, the greatest, most perfect figure of all times. I think the base is kind of silly. I had a weird thing with my staff that a bunch of people that got the second batch had, where the staff doesn't have a hole for the pipe, which is weird because that's kind of like the whole point of that staff. It's definitely a difficult figure to futz working with the rooted hair, and there's just so much fabric. You really have to kind of like water treat the fabric to get it to lay right. But after about an hour of messing with it, I'm like super satisfied with kind of what I came up with. I have like most of the stuff that's supposed to be on the base not on the base, because it has like a mailbox and a fence post and the gate that says no visitors, which is, I mean, it's nice, but I think that
is this from the Hobbit or?
So this is from the Fellowship.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the Hobbit's robes have like blue trim on the wrists and then on the bottom of the robes. But honestly, guys, it was so good, and I was so blown away by certain parts of this figure that I was like, yo, Steven, put me down for a second one, bro. And so in a few months, I'm going to be getting a second one.
Wow.
Because I've needed... Oh, go ahead, use me.
Two things. One, did they update the hat at all, or is it still like a...
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the picture on the left, that's actually the Sideshow collectibles from like 20... That's like a really old figure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hat that, which I think is still the best hat of all the Gandalfs that have been released in 6 scale. It's sculpted, so it just always looks how it should look.
Yeah.
The hat is terrible. Like, the first thing I did was try to open it with a razor blade to cut out the magnet, and it, even though like it sat lower, it just still kind of looked like a party hat. Surprisingly, the first Asmus hat is really bad too. Like, that one really didn't look that much better. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go straight to the Sideshow one. We did have some hats custom made. I have to find them. I put them away.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm never going to get this fucking figure. So now I have to go track those down. But now... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you made one for me, but I was going to say, I also have one on order from Steven, but I was thinking about canceling it. So I don't know what batch I'm in, so we can work that out if you want it earlier type deal. So...
Oh, no, like, the one that I got, it's already there. Like, he's like, I'll set it aside for you, like, just pay the deposit. Yeah, but I think, I don't know, because they only got 3, so maybe yours was the other one. You know,
find out soon, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll get a phone call soon. I really like this figure, though. It's, the soft goods are really well done. The rooting, like, I thought the one that I rooted was pretty okay. But I'm like, yeah, I definitely have a long way to go because it looks nowhere near as good as this one. I think the eyes do look a bit sunken in. I thought it was just some lighting in some cases, but I'm hoping to kind of be able to work him into a display where I can kind of hide that fact a bit. And I really need to mess with actually posing the eyes and seeing if I can force them a little closer to the face. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I'm going to get that second one and kind of make a Hobbit version with the Hobbit outfits that I have. And, you know, honestly, like, probably one of the greatest birthday gifts I've gotten in a while. And I was able to drill a hole in the staff, and now it has a hole for the pipe. So, win-win.
So when are you going to sell me your other one?
Which one do you want? The Asmus one or the Sideshow one? I think we lost Dean for a second. We'll talk about that in a second, Dean. But let's get into the news. We'll start with the Og Toys Gurney Halleck from Dune. I haven't really seen Og Toys go up for pre-order on any of the US sites. I could be wrong, but we were able to find this one on TNS. It's $265 and it releases Q1 2023. I think the armor and the weathering on this figure is absolutely incredible. I think the portrait looks pretty good. I know when we talked about the Paul figure, a lot of our concerns were how good is this portrait going to be in the final release? How good is this weathering going to be in the final release? And obviously we're not going to know that until Q1 2023 when Paul and Gurney drop. But I think overall, I think it's interesting. You know, if you haven't read the books, I don't think a lot of people that have only watched the Dune Part 1 movie are really going to care for this character. So to me, it was kind of a weird, you know, like as a second figure. There's a lot of other characters I think they probably should have gone with. But this is 2 figures for the line, and I'm definitely excited to see where they go. I don't know if we have Dean back yet. Oh, there we go. Dean, what do you think about Gurney Halleck by Og Toys?
Not really my favorite character in the movie, but it's a solid looking figure. I hope they come out looking like this. It might be worth picking up just to have a second figure with Paul. But I fell asleep halfway through the movie, so I have no idea what happened to this guy. He was just gone when I woke up. So,
wow.
Yeah,
He just kind of disappears, no? Like I don't even know what the hell happened to him.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch.
I feel like
the
it's
movie.
spoilers to say.
That's my bad. It's not like it was a boring movie. It was a great movie. I was just really fucking tired. So
I think it's left ambiguous. He goes to fight, and that's the last you see him in that movie. To be honest, Dean, he doesn't get like an epic like final scene in that first part. It's like, I'm gonna go fight, and then what happened to Gurney?
And he's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe he comes back and he's fucking awesome. I haven't read the books. I don't know anything about Dune. So, these figures look great, and I hope they keep expanding the line.
I hope the likeness is better in person. I don't think it looks similar to Brolin, but I don't think it's 100%. I could see it being better in person, but it kind of just looks like a Brolin stunt double kind of. And like I did like this movie a lot, but I wouldn't buy collectibles from this movie. I don't think the first movie was good enough to warrant collectibles. I think they kind of like it's good, but they kind of leave you wanting a lot more. So I don't know, but I think they look great. I don't know if Og Toys is known for anything. I feel like they're new unless they've done something before. I don't know if
They supposedly had done some things, but when I looked, I couldn't find anything under that brand other than the Paul. And at that time, they were teasing this figure. But their website says they've been around since like the 80s. So, I mean, I guess anyone can put anything on the internet, and that doesn't make it true. But according to their website, they've been around for a while. What do you think, Yusuf?
I too fell asleep during this movie, so yeah, I'll judge it based on the figure itself. But I agree with you that the soft goods, the outfit, all that stuff looks good. Definitely the head sculpt needs some work. I think it's the eyes that are a bit too close together or something that I just don't see Josh Brolin too much in. But yeah, I'll wait to see how the final is, the final product is, and I'll finish watching the movie and see how I feel then. But for now, it's a pass. But I'm glad those people who love Dune and love the series are able to get some figures from it if they need it. And I'm glad that there's a few of them now to start a little collection. So yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice. I think it looks pretty decent, like 80% there for Brolin. I mean, like you can tell it's him, just not perfect. But yeah, like Yusuf said, all the outfit and accessories look amazing. So it's good for the Dune fans to have more products. But yeah, for me, it's a pass. I need to see more of the movie if I'm gonna invest in this.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'd have to see the movie and learn the character and the role he played. But I guess he'd be a great companion piece. Look, I think it's a bit pricey, to be honest, though. $265 coming from this studio that I think is really trying to still prove themselves. The likeness is there. When you look at him, you know who it is, but I don't think it's $265. I don't think the likeness is there to give a fair value of $265. The armor is nice. It's weathered, but I'll be honest. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw this armor, I don't know if you guys have it there. When you go to a takeout place, and the takeout place is trying to be eco-friendly, and they give you like that plastic, like eco-friendly container that's like brown. It's almost like it's biodegradable. It looks like that was just painted. But yeah, look, for me, I wouldn't go after this at that price point. I think it's expensive for what you're getting. What do you think, Fern?
I actually really liked the movie, and I liked the character. I thought he was really cool. But, like Dane said, I don't even know what the hell happened to him. He just kind of disappeared. But how much do you say it was? $265?
Yeah, $265. That's on TNS ship, so you might be able to find it slightly cheaper, and then you pay the shipping on other sites. But
that's Hot Toys money right there. I don't know if I would spend $265 on it.
Yo,
this is like officially licensed, so like could Stanley get something like this? Nice.
Whoa, hang on. It is officially licensed. It's not through. So when we first talked about the character, I said we haven't seen it through any U.S.
Okay.
So Sideshow hasn't got it yet, but I'm super hopeful that they might be able to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Pablo Meza says, I hope they come out with Paul in the Desert gear. Marco, what do you think about... Yes, Danny.
Do you think Sideshow would distribute this?
Do I think they would? I mean, they distribute pretty niche stuff all the time, so probably. Do I think they will? Honestly, at this point, I think if you really want it, it's probably better to secure it on like a TNS or maybe 1/6 kit somewhere overseas that you're not gonna have to track it down like a month before it comes out. But I've checked their site and I haven't seen it there yet. Marco.
Yeah. Any more questions, Danny? No, I'm
good. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm playing, man. So in terms of the movie, no, I'm messing with you, brother. In terms of the movie, I really enjoyed it more like as an experience than as a movie, if that makes any sense. Like I thought it was really competently done, but excited to see where the rest of the story goes. If only there were some text that I could reference, but
a book, bro.
There you go. I'm not a big reader. So in terms of these suits though, or the armor, when I was watching, I was like, these would make awesome figures. Like I love the design of it. So this figure is really, really cool to me. I don't love the sculpt in a lot of the pictures. Like in this picture, or these two right here, it looks pretty good on the left. But it's still a little bit suspect in my book, especially for the price, as everyone mentioned. So I think it's a cool one, but we should definitely see what the final pictures look like.
Definitely agree. Eddie, I think you and Marco are onto something. I think the sculpt could be improved. But goddamn, look at that fucking weathering on the armor. That is crispy. But we'll see what happens when it comes out. Now this is the meat and potatoes. I know John's very excited about this. Hot Toys announced the Back to the Future 2 DeLorean. This is $825, coming in May to July 2023. I felt like as soon as Hot Toys started going back towards the Back to the Future figures, so the Doc and the Marty that just came out, like, I mean, we said then and there, like, the reissue, remake, whatever you want to call it, is 100% happening. Now, Yost from Jazzing Diorama posted a video in his group and mentioned that they were actively pursuing the license for the Time Machine, that things were going well, and then a few weeks ago, kind of radio silence, and then this came out. So we've said it a lot that licensing is very specific, territory, price point, could just be overall. But Jazz Inc. did say that they're not going to really touch this now that Hot Toys is making it. So if you want a Time Machine, this is kind of going to be the way you're going to have to get one. I think the base is really neat. I think one of you guys said in one of our chats that There's a USB option, which I think is neat. But I think that the problem that I have with this, I really don't mind that they're doing it, to be honest. The problem that I have with this is this photo right here. When it transforms, the wheels are much deeper in the wheel well, and this just looks really goofy, to be honest. And I think they really sacrificed the aesthetics of the actual Part 2 Time Machine to make it so that you could easily transform it from the Back to the Future 1 road version versus the flying version. This just looks really bad to me. And some people have done like Photoshops where they've shown what it would look like if the wheels were at the proper space, and it looks incredible. It looks right off the screen. But as is, I think they kind of should have picked one or the other and done that option really well, because I think having it transform back and forth, one, it's just something down the line that could break, and two, you're definitely sacrificing half of the display options aesthetics to get it to work with the Back to the Future 1 look. I think the price point's fine, $825.
There's a YouTuber out there that seems to think that this is going to be severely improved, these tires, and that they're going to be the proper height and everything.
I hope so, because it looks really bad.
He made a
right
big
now.
deal about it on his stream, and
who was it?
I don't know
Was it
where the
Denobi?
fucking I don't know where the I kept trying to ask him what evidence do you have of Hot Toys progressing or making things so much better than their prototypes? And he wouldn't fucking answer that question. So if you guys have some kind of evidence or some kind of hope that this Hot Toys will improve on this prototype, then talk about it, because he wouldn't answer that question each time I asked him. So
his point was just that they dusted off the prototype and threw up some pictures, right? That was really his rationale.
But he kept saying this is just a prototype, guys. Hot Toys is going to work on this. And I asked him twice, and he reads all his comments, but he wouldn't answer that one. I was, what's your evidence or reason of thinking that Hot Toys is going to fix this problem? Because they don't normally do that unless we make a big deal about it. Because he kept saying people are crying about the wheels. Well, yeah, because if we don't cry about it, they're not going to fix it. So
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because whenever we complain about something, that's always the answer. Oh, it's a prototype, they'll fix it. But in order for them to show it and solicit it, it has to be a fairly close representation of the final. So I always get a little, I won't say anxious, but I always kind of question, in a perfect world, it seems like an easy fix, right? Just, raise the wheels a bit, fix the mechanism, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
Whether or not it will be, I don't know. Now I know, actually, I'll save that meat on the bone for John, because I know he had made some great points in his 60 seconds. So Dean, take a crack at it.
Yeah, I think that's really the only problem with it is the wheels. I think instead of the mechanism facing inwards, it should face upwards, up into the wheel well. That way when it swivels, they're higher up. I get it. It's not going to be 100% accurate. But I would have even preferred swap out parts if it meant getting actual screen accuracy. That's the whole fucking point of 6 scale, and specifically Hot Toys, is the screen accuracy. And the fact that, like you said, you're sacrificing one to accommodate both is kind of silly. I almost would prefer just the flying version by itself. That way it's an actually unique vehicle. But yeah, I think other than, if they could fix that, it looks fantastic. The base is cool. It gives you a really cool pitch to the display option. I don't hate it. I'm really excited to hear John. In fact, I was going to ask him on Friday because he made the video, and I was like, you know what, John? I'm going to save it. I really want to wait until Tuesday to hear what you have to say.
Denobi says the photos say prototype on the side. They do, but they've released things that say prototype on the side.
And
not
Fat Gadget says they usually improve on head sculpts, so why not this? Let me know when they've improved. Yeah. Let me know when they've
Yeah.
improved on a head sculpt where the community didn't have to make an outrage about it for them to do so.
Yeah, I will say 9 times out of 10, the final product is worse than the prototype. So I don't know. This might be the best one that they come out with. So we'll see how it turns out. But that price point, I mean, I really don't own any of the other figures, so I wouldn't get this like at all ever. So I'm excited for people that really want one, but for me, it's a pass.
Did they change anything on Ray? Or did Ray was just some people liked it, some people didn't situation?
No, I think they changed some stuff on her. Also, Kylo from that. I think they improved on.
But there
him.
was
Did
a
they
lot of
ever
complaints
come out
about
and
Kylo,
state
though.
that though? Did they ever come out and
I
say
don't
like we've improved this because of community feedback?
No, I think it
I
was
don't
just,
think they did.
just,
I think
They did
I
with
think
the
that's
Scarlet
just the
Witch.
community
Yeah, I was
thinking
gonna
it
say
looks
Scarlet
different from a
Witch.
prototype.
The Scarlet
Let's say
Witch, they did
Scarlet Witch,
acknowledge
too.
that.
I'm just saying the only evidence. I'm just saying the only evidence of actual improvement on a prototype is the Mark 85, which was only because the community cried
And
about
they
it.
tried to bamboozle us with that.
Exactly. So I'm not arguing that I'm not arguing that it's not possible for Hot Toys to improve on this. They may likely very well do so, but I'm saying I want to know the evidence that has all these people coming in and saying like, "Oh, it's a prototype, guys." Like, why do we have all this faith in Hot Toys all of a sudden? Is it because it's something you want?
Yeah, Eddie, because for every Rey and Kylo, there's 10 figures that didn't get fixed.
Exactly.
Or
Countless
come out
Luke's.
like the Obi-Wan.
Fucking Ant-Man.
People were really upset about the Obi-Wan head sculpt
Fucking
when it
Ant-Man,
came out, and they did nothing about that. I think it's fine, but I could see people's arguments. I was like, okay, yeah, it does look kind of weird. But yeah, for every 2 examples you get, there's way more figures that got, we got bamboozled on. So I'm with you, Eddie. But I want to hear what John says.
Yeah, I'm not in no way like saying they won't do it. I feel like all of a sudden people were like, "Oh, Hot Toys this is a prototype, guys," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, have I not been collecting Hot Toys for years now, or like when the fuck have they like given us all this hope?" You know what I mean? Like,
collections are built on hope, Eddie.
take it easy, guys. Let's,
That was good.
calm down a bit. But
thanks.
I really like that.
I do really love this release. I will probably buy this release. I don't have a huge problem with the wheels. The wheels was kind of like a glass shattering moment where like I didn't notice it until people said it, and then I was like, damn it, now I notice it. But if that's the case, I mean, I guess I'll pose it as the regular car, without the flying part. I don't know, but I do want to get this. I think it's a cool release, and I like that I kind of like that it has both options. But I agree with Zach, if they couldn't execute well on both, then maybe focus on one, or figure out another way. But I do think that we need to talk about it. Like John says, we need to say the things we don't like, because as of so far, the only way we get improvements is by doing so. So I think that if people think it looks like shit because of the wheels, we need to come out in numbers and say, hey, the wheels look like shit. We don't need to threaten anybody's life, but let's let people know the wheels look like shit.
Yeah, because
Anyway.
even if you don't like the way the wheels look, or you don't mind, at the end of the day, you'll get a better product back anyway. Does that make sense?
Exactly, yeah.
So
It's not going to hurt
Dom
anything. It's not like they're
says-
going to say, all right, we're taking the pre-order away. You guys gave us too much grief.
Can you
That's
imagine, bro?
That's what I do. I get a little bit of pushback. I'm like, fuck it, we're not doing it.
Yeah,
John, can you read the
exactly.
super chat for me, please?
Domaton, thank you for the support, brother. He says, Hot Toys is my drug of choice.
Yeah, it's a good drug. I like it too.
Even
Go
I'm
ahead,
getting
John.
sick of that drug. I don't know, guys. Everyone's like, oh, well, John's reaction. I have no more energy. What? It's a nice release. I can live with the wheel issue. I'll be honest. I can live with it. It's whatever. I just think they literally took the original car. They didn't do anything with the side panels. I know there were issues in the beginning. All the side panels are not 100% accurate. The cabling in the back's not accurate. With the original release, they did nothing with that. They literally took the original car and just put the movable wheels. That's all they did, and some lighting. They put the lighting under the undercarriage, and to really screw us, they lit the dashboard.
And Mr. Fusion.
And Mr. Fusion. So my question now comes to you. Okay, great. These new entitled collectors come into this community. Oh, we deserve it because we deserve it. And I've been collecting for 3 years, and I missed out on the original one, and I'm entitled, and I deserve it. And I don't care what how anyone else feels. I don't care about anything else. I deserve it. I'm entitled to it. That's it. Come into this community. Now I pose the question to you. Myself, being at the right place at the right time, purchased the original DeLorean. Where's the respect for me as an original collector owning the original vehicle? Okay? There's no respect. They took our vehicle. They took the vehicle. That's fine. They gave us the flying version. Perfect. It's not a reissue. Call it whatever you want, a 2.0, a full brand new release, but it's the same body of the vehicle with both functions. So there's no integrity to the first release whatsoever. And I'm going to get a whack load of chat. Well, the first one doesn't have the Mr. Fusion, and the first one has the license plate. Like, guys, get a grip. It's a sticker. So my question to you is, in this collecting, is where's the integrity to the people who collected the original one? They could have handled this so much more professionally and made everyone happy. They could have, number one, given us an adapter set to attach to the original one, where you can somehow get the wheels to do this and include the stand that people would have purchased. I would have purchased. They also could have just given us this version in the flying pose. Okay? They could have just given us this in the flying pose. There you go. You want the original on the ground pose? You got to buy the original one. It's too expensive? Well, then guess what? Don't buy it. That's part of collecting. That's how this hobby works. You're not entitled to shit in this life. You got to understand that. You're not entitled to anything. People wake up every day, go to work, bust their ass. Guess what? They're not entitled to anything. We're not entitled.
You're saying people aren't entitled, but then, like, doesn't that go across your whole argument saying the company didn't respect you? Isn't that a little entitled?
Well, it's not entitled. It's
hypocritical.
You're well, no, it doesn't. It seems that they're just focusing on new collectors now. Why aren't you focusing on the whole community? Why isn't that a thought? Why did you? This was shown how many years ago at Comic-Con, and this year the third vehicle was shown. Why didn't they put the third vehicle up from the third movie? They're putting the second one up. So you can sit there. Hold on a second, because I'm still talking.
Go ahead.
You could sit there and say that I'm entitled, but I'm not entitled. I even said to you personally, I'd pick this up. My whole thing here is, though, for the collectors out there who purchased the original one, where's the integrity of the purchase?
I don't disagree with you that limited or exclusivity and things like that benefit the collecting community in a whole, but I don't think this or Hot Toys fall under that, just because they never state that there's a number. I only agree with that when something is numbered. And then, just like, I'm not calling you entitled, I just think that you can't get mad at people for saying that they deserve this when your whole argument is based off what you deserve. You know what I mean?
It's not just about what,
but it does. It comes off that way.
But I'm not saying don't release this because I want to have mine and I want to keep mine. My argument is release this. I understand there's collectors who missed out on the first run. So yes, release this. This is a major improvement. And as I stated, I would really be interested in purchasing this. But my argument is keep the integrity of the original one as well by having an attachment set of some sort. Right? Because now everyone who purchased the original one, that's like, it's I'm not going to say it's worthless because you may have emotional attachment to buying it, but as a collector who purchased it at the price that we did, I just feel like it's a slap in the face, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not saying that I'm entitled this and that. I'm lagging a bit. I might have to switch cameras. I'm just saying that keep the integrity. This is a great release, but you got to kind of, Hot Toys doesn't care because I know it's about the money, but you got to kind of, you can't play devil's advocate. You got to kind of balance both ends, in my opinion. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Because then, if you're just gonna keep reissuing everything, it's not. And this is not a reissue, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna keep revisiting everything like this, does it become fun? Or am I supposed to be as a collector? Because you bring up the limited again. When I collected Hot Toys 15 years ago, Hot Toys were limited. Hot Toys was branded as this is a limited collector. They may have not attached a number to it, but they marketed themselves as a limited collectible. That's just how it was. You'd buy an Iron Man figure, and that baby would sell out, and that's it. You were paying.
Limited only means to a certain amount. That amount could be $1 million.
No, but
it doesn't mean there's a number. It just means
but you're arguing
there's
the number.
only a certain number. No,
this has
I'm
nothing
saying
to do with
I
numbers.
said limited. You said limited, so I'm saying limited can be a shit ton. It means that not everyone in the world will have it.
Yeah, but once production's done, right? Once production's done on that, and it's been and that figure's sold out, right? There's no number. I'm not talking number attachment. You're saying limited. The limited should have no aspect in this.
Let me get to this comment here. Brenton says every hobby is about bringing in new collectors.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that at all. I will ask you this, John, and then maybe Marco and Usby and
I don't have the favorite opinion here. I understand that, but
let me ask you this, John. The DeLorean's about 6 years old at this point, and I think from what I've noticed lately with Hot Toys, barring like the Doctor Stranges or the Marvel characters that you see them every few years in a new movie, you get a new figure. But for these figures for movies that are older, around about that 5 or 6 year time frame is when you're liable to start seeing a remake, or in this case a remake, but also potentially reissues. Is that not a long enough time, in your opinion, to kind of give that value to the initial investors in the collectible?
Paul, thanks so much, buddy.
Yeah,
Paul,
he says remake, $20 super chat.
Appreciate that, brother. Look, I understand things are going to be remade. Statues are remade. Statues are numbered. They're still remade in different interpretations of the character. Some similar, some not. My whole thing here is you want to remake it because you have the license, you have the molds, you have this, you have that. Okay, go ahead. But do something to at least sort of keep the original collector happy and not have to say, well, now I'm looking at it, oh, it's remade, I got to go buy the new one. Keep some sort of integrity to that new release. I'm not saying, you guys are missing this, I'm not saying don't innovate and redo, like for example, this one, they redid the dashboard so that the dashboard lights up. Okay, that's fine. We're 6-7 years out. Perfect. They're listening to what we want and they're making the necessary corrections. But the point here is they literally took the carpet right under the original one, and anyone coming into this hobby, they're not going to look at the original one. They're going to look at this one. So I think that for the original collector who got into the hobby, is holding the original one, at least keep some sort of integrity.
Yeah,
is this?
I say skip this one entirely. Wait 6 years and get the next one because it'll be even better.
That's gonna be my point, Dean.
It's gonna have the 3.0 wheels. So this one, looking at Sideshow's website, John, I know that the numbers are a little bit different for you in Canada. This one's about $136 more. Is that any sort of consolation to the V1 that you're able to get it for almost $150 cheaper?
Not at all.
All right, Marco, what do you think about this?
Yeah, so I think I could bring that new collector perspective to it. So, John was kind of saying the entitlement, and I definitely don't have that entitlement, I would say. If they never remade this vehicle, I feel like that would be fine, right? It came out, and it would be a bummer because I love Back to the Future, and as someone who started collecting Hot Toys, a little under 3 years ago, I would be sad that I'd never have an opportunity unless I was going after, the original model of it. And so I'm stoked that they are making something like this. Like I will absolutely be getting this. And to Dean's
Poor
point,
Gigi.
oh my gosh, yeah, this is her first. She's hearing about this, but we got many years to worry about this. Oh no, did he pull a P-Rock? What's happening here?
Did he die, bro?
You doing a line, bro?
Sorry,
My God, it's
I
not
took
after
medication
dark.
for my sore throat, and that shit
He's
makes me
getting
go.
amped up, bro.
Dave had a good comment.
That codeine.
Dave says if you're not happy with all the reissues, I think it's better to cash out and use that money for something else. Hot Toys is not the same that it once was. To be honest, I wouldn't say that I'm cashing out from Hot Toys because of the reissues, but I've been starting to look into some collectibles that are, I don't want to say hold their value more, but like for example, if you spend, like Dean's collecting the first appearances of remind me of her name, Dean. I may have. Punchline, thank you. And even though those Punchline books may be second printed or third printed or fourth printed or facsimiles in the future, if Dean has that first print, first appearance, like that will never ever be reissued. Like it'll always hold that value. So I've been getting into comics more. I know a lot of us in this panel have been as well. But yeah, that's a great comment by Dave.
And I think the last thing I'll say, and kind of piggybacking off of that, I know Sean is in the sneaker collecting world as well. Let's say the Concord Jordan 11s. They had their original, release of that, and they've released it a few times since. And I'm sure they will, to Dean's point, release one more version, the Back to the Future 3 version of this. And I think each iteration will have their, individual strengths, and hopefully they'll all kind of retain some value because, they're not all the same. So I think as long as they're not doing straight reissues, I'm excited to get something like this, and I'm perfectly fine with this strategy.
I still want to try to hear one person make an argument for my comment with where's the integrity of the original release.
I think it's just the original release, right? It's the Back to the Future 1 version, and it'll always be that. But I hear what you're saying, John.
I get what you're
What are you
saying,
talking
John,
about?
but Hot Toys collectors are very specific, like more so than any other collectors that I think I've seen. For example, I'm literally buying a whole nother Gandalf because the only difference between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings is a tiny strip of blue fabric. That's the only difference. You look at Vader, and you might have a little bit more gloss on one part of the armor, a little bit of a vent that's a tiny bit bigger on the helmet, but that in itself is enough to justify 3, maybe even 4 versions of Vader from every film appearance.
I got your answer, John,
So
but
as-
you won't like it.
Okay, give me the
As a
answer.
collector, this will never be that first DeLorean. It just will never be.
Okay,
The
so I see what you're
answer
saying. So
is-
your argument, hold on, your argument is it's not the original. It's not the
No,
like,
it's not
Exactly.
the original, but it's not what appeared. I guess technically at the end of
In
the
the
first
first
film,
film.
they showed
Okay.
the flying in the inn, but the majority of the scenes in the first film are with a DeLorean that looks as I'm not like the biggest Back to the
Yeah, it's
Future
the
fan,
Mr. Fusion and
but
the
it's-
license plate,
it's-
essentially.
Yeah, it's what you have. So I know you're saying it's just a sticker, but you'd be surprised how anal Hot Toys collectors are about those tiny details.
I don't
and that's why
think so.
We love Hot Toys.
I think your point is great. I think your point is great, but I think it's actually opposite of what you said. I think in other areas of collecting, people are true to the original. That's the original I want. I don't want to reprint. I don't want to remake. I want that specific rendition true to the first original release. I think with Hot Toys collecting, it's completely opposite. I think a small upgrade in a Hot Toys figure, a small upgrade in a vehicle, and I think even like Beskar Mando was a beautiful example of that. Just a small little upgrade, even though you got the pram with the original one, just that upgrade and knowing that there's a revamped one on the market, that's where the people flock. The value of the original completely dissipates.
But
always be
your argument
completionists,
also
though.
falls apart because people want the new Mando because it's more accurate. They're like, that's the version to get. So it's like, yeah, this is Back to the Future 2, but it's missing that bumper sticker. Like, I need that. People are
And
fucking
plus-
anal, man.
But that's an
And they're
easy
gonna have-
purchase
I know
on
you
eBay.
don't-
That's the whole thing.
I know you don't like this argument, but I always tell you about the Star Wars Black Series. Those boxes to people matter.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's Orange Label Mall. That's the one I want. I don't want the fucking what are they called? Like Vault Collection or whatever the fuck it is. Like,
The
it's
Vaulted
not
Collection.
like, is the figure the same? Yes, exactly the same. But it's not the original one.
Dean, I
That's
would
the
even
one.
go. I would even go so far to say is the vaulted collection or like whatever the fuck they call it. They're better figures.
I don't think Hot
But
Toys
the
goes
original
into
holds
that.
the value.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody. I've never seen anybody resell something and go, "I want the one with the other box in Hot Toys."
Oh, I
That's
see it all the time here when we do our swap meets, bro.
Okay.
There's people out there. I'm not saying it's every collector, but there's people out there that they want the original one.
And they're gonna have
the
three
box
sets
says
of
1993, not 1998.
Eddie, let
I
me
want
say
the
this really quick.
93 box.
They're going to have 3 sets of Doc and Marty, right? They're going to have 1, 2, and 3. And there's going to be some completionists out there that want all 3 DeLoreans to go with their 3 different Docs and Martys. It's just how it's going to be.
I've told him the answer a million times. He just doesn't like the answer. He refuses to hear it.
Yeah, because it doesn't mean the answer's right.
There's no, it is fucking right. You just refuse to hear it. There is
Let's hear it.
nothing about this that holds integrity on your DeLorean. Nothing. But the problem is you're fighting for something that doesn't exist. They do not do that.
Kind of.
They don't
What
care.
are you talking about?
About
I know
the
they don't care.
integrity. They don't.
But that's my argument. That's my argument here.
Yeah, he's
and
saying
you
they
may
should.
listen a second. You may not give a shit, but there's a fucking 100
No, I'm
people-
not saying I don't
Hold
give
on.
a shit though.
Okay, but I'm saying you may not care. You may not
didn't
care.
say I don't care.
But there could be collectors that listen to this show and that listen to other streams and stuff because that's all it is now on these YouTube channels is sugarcoating shit. So I try to be the person that keeps an open mind and stands up for how I view my collecting because my views, you read the chat, I'm completely opposite from what everyone's saying here, but I'm telling you there's people out there that feel the same way that I do. And they deserve a voice.
Mean it's
I will
sugarcoating.
say John might be onto something because, like, in the comments, people are like, "Yeah, John, he's right." I'm like, "You motherfuckers agree with
Bunch
this
of
guy?"
John stands.
But yeah, for every like 10 Eddies, there's 10 Johns. Like, everyone collects differently, which is what we're going to talk about in a little bit.
I agree with John though. You guys are missing. I agree with him that it should be that way, but Hot Toys isn't that.
They don't
company.
care. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm hoping that one day they come across this beautiful voice and they say, "We've been running our business corruptly for the last 7 years.
Corrupt?
We're gonna, we're gonna get
if I
back to the
may.
heart of collecting."
If I may,
I don't care.
20th,
Look,
2
hold on a
days
second.
ago, still
Sorry,
for
Zach.
$2,000 sold.
Oh.
So I don't think your value is totally out the door. I mean, there's always going to be that anal collector.
Zach, they were selling for
That's what I
3,500,
think
buddy.
too.
Yeah, but that's still more than what you paid for.
Well,
Once
I
this
invested
one
a little
sells
bit.
out,
It's
once
definitely
this,
gonna
Like I said,
once-
mine
look,
already
here's what I think is
stands
going to
out.
happen. Here's what, yeah, you're not going to sell it.
I'm not
But
gonna
what
sell it.
saying
I
is,
got the
What I
signatures
think
on
is going
it.
to happen initially, you're going to see a tank in value. You're still going to be able to get more than retail. Once the well drives up on this part 2, both of them are going to shoot way the fuck back up because now there's new collectors that got in right when they missed this one that now have to either buy yours or buy the part 2.
John will be dead by the time.
Jesus Christ. I mean, look at this.
You'll be way
January
too
30,
old by the
January
time that happens.
31st,
By the time what happens?
2,149. January 30th,
It goes back up to
1950.
$2,000.
3,000.
I don't
I
care.
mean, the
'cause
value is still there, bro.
I don't
The
care because
value
I
is
don't
100%
resell,
still
and
there.
I can put mine on the market for 5. I've not gotten an
The
offer
problem
for 5, but
with that argument, Zach, is that you don't know how many of this new one they're making.
yeah, and
Exactly.
you coming in,
It might be
you're
enough
gonna
to
go
wet
for
the
this
whistle.
one. You're gonna go if you had to choose. Both are sold out. Both are sold out, going for close to the
Yeah,
same
but you
price.
can't control that though.
I can't control that, but the fucking company can control that.
Yeah, but people might. But if people want this, then that's what the people want.
If it was me
Right?
personally, I know you're not going to believe this, but if I was that anal for this franchise, which I'm really not, I honestly don't care about either of these.
I don't
If
understand why
I
it's so
really
popular.
truly loved the first movie more than the second, which I think personally the first movie is the better movie, then yes, I would pay to have, if I had my choice and both were sold out, I would get the first one.
Like
The
for
second,
me,
the flying does nothing for me. To be
For me, the new figures come with the proton pack, and the original one has that the slot so you could put the proton pack in. So I get there's there, but I just feel, and this is why I'm not. I just feel a little passionate about this, and I get irritated because they did the fucking same thing. Sorry for swearing. They did the same thing with the tumbler, with the bat pod. The fucking guy is doing interviews for Milk Magazine saying, well, we don't want to do vehicles. We're not going to touch Star Wars vehicles because, well, what is it? It's not economical or whatever. We don't want. We're not going to touch Star Wars vehicles. We're not looking at that. But you're redoing every other fucking vehicle you've done. Come on, guys. Come on.
Okay, Paul Schreiber's comment. It's the difference between enjoying a property and looking at all of this as investing. I invest in real assets. I buy toys because it brings me joy. Now, I used to agree with you, but value helps collecting community in general, so I disagree now.
Yeah.
The value will always be better for the community in the long run. And that's a whole nother argument, though. He's not just arguing value. He's arguing collectability. He's arguing different points. But the value thing, that's not the only thing. And it does matter. It's not we don't buy to invest, but it still matters.
Yeah, I'll give you that. USB, Danny, Fern, what do y'all got about this?
I'll go. So I will say, I mean, me and John are at opposite ends of this, but I will say I do agree with him that I wish they would have done a accessory pack or whatever for the first one. I think that would have been kind of the best of both worlds. I don't have the original one, so I don't know if that would even be possible, but I think that would have smoothed over a lot of stuff. I think my main argument is, that came out a long time ago. John and the other collectors that have had 6, 7, 8, by the time this comes out, 9 years to enjoy their, exclusivity or whatever you want to call it with having this. And then, basically a reissue in my mind, because I've had other figures that have been reissued, doesn't affect my sort of enjoyment of it. So I know we're going to talk about how we collect later, but so I like this personally. I do not like the wheels. I think it was like Eddie was saying, I didn't notice it until someone mentioned it, and now that's all I can fucking see. So we'll see how that, if they improve it, if they don't. But as far as that goes, yeah, I mean, I guess I understand some of John's point of view, but I'm on the other spectrum where, if other people can get it and it makes them happy, that's awesome. I do agree with Zach that I think, I know John's saying that we're not anal collectors, but I think that the out of time license plate is such an iconic thing for the franchise, and the look of the first one's a bit different than the Mr. Fusion. I know that might not drive us up at the wall, but my friend Andy, he's just like a fucking die-hard Back to the Future guy, and he would be up in arms about this sort of stuff. So there are people out there that are that, sort of anal and want their stuff to be that accurate to the film, that they wouldn't get this one to pose next to, Back to the Future 1, Marty and Doc. They would have to have it with Back to the Future 2. So I think it's a different thing. I think, people have said reissues. I think it's more of a remake, or other people have said remake, but I think it's just a wholly different thing. I mean, I know it looks very similar, and I know I mentioned this in the Patreon chat and sort of the network chat and stuff like that, but it's almost like a Mark IV and Mark VI situation for the Iron Man. If you look at those two armors, the only difference is the arc reactor and the chest plate, right? One was used in Avengers and the other was used in Iron Man 2. And so they're very similar. It's just one very different thing, and they're used in different movies. So they're two different suits, two different cars, etc. So I think this has a place, even with the old DeLorean. I think, ultimately, I think it's good. I think it does a net positive for the community to have more people be able to get this sort of stuff. And so, yeah, I think that's my opinion of it.
If I could just interject a second, what really irks me is the stupid comments that I read in the community. That's what it is. Oh, well, if you want something to hold value, buy property or this and that. And I'll retract stupid comments, fucking opinions that people have. Have your opinion. Just, like I said, make it stick to the argument. Relate it to the argument.
Yeah, and I mean, I can get that. I mean, I think, in talking about, like Eddie was saying about value and stuff like that it's important. It is definitely important and part of it. But I think we have to remember that even when these things do get reissued, say when the 47 was reissued, I think it was going for like $1,900, or something like that. I forget what it was at its peak. And now I think it goes for like $300, so it's like $50 less than retail. So it definitely lost a lot of its quote unquote value, but value is only real when you realize it, right? When you sell it. If you're never going to sell it, yeah, it went up, it went down, but fluctuated. But, if you ever do decide to sell it, you'll get most of what you paid for it back, which is more that can be said about, Black Series and all that stuff, which basically you can't give away if you tried. So I think the value, quote unquote, is still there. I think your sort of initial investment is, for a roundabout, always going to be protected. And that's, really all I care about other than, anything else I just consider a fun or a joy tax, I guess, if it loses
The
any
chat
value.
is 7525 remake to reissue Danik and Lee Walker, DeLorean Time Machine.
Everybody's pretty much said what I felt, except for John, I guess. But I understand John's point of view. But I kind of do feel they're two separate releases. Like there is enough differences. One's number 1, one's number 2. So that's kind of how I see it. And the wheels do look weird. Hoping they improve it. Fern?
I like it. I want to get it, but I'm not a huge fan of part 2. I like part 1 better. But like Danny said, I agree with him. This is from part 2. The other one's from part 1. Like, I don't really understand the argument. I mean, there's like 10 Black Widows with subtle differences. You don't see people bitching about that. The Michael Keaton Batman, the only difference is from part 2 to part 1 is the abs. Is that a reissue, technically? No.
No, but no one's calling this a reissue.
Or whatever.
I think you called it a reissue, at least for the smallest moment when it was first announced.
The argument here, Fern, is not that it's the slightest difference. It's this has everything that the first one has. That's the issue. So the integrity to the original release, besides the Mr. Fusion and the license plate. That's all.
To me, that's enough. I don't think we're going to agree on that, and I think that's fine. I think it's great that we're able to have these discussions. It got pretty passionate in the Patreon chat when this was dropped, and I think we had good discussions then. I think we had good discussions now. Let's move on. Asmus. These were from, I think it was Pablo from the 6 Scale Scavengers group. He's kind of like the guy for the Lord of the Rings Asmus drops. And this is a work in progress photo of the sculpt for the Gandalf the White Crown series. Supposedly this is a 2023 release. It looks fucking good. It looks amazing. I really hope, really hope they don't give it the moving eyes. I think that's probably the worst part of the figure, just how recessed the eyes ended up being because of that. But this is a strong sculpt, and obviously not a lot of hair on it because it's going to be rooted, which is exciting. And this is going to be a must buy for me. So there's no information about pricing or release, but this was such a cool little teaser that was found that couldn't help but share that.
Yeah, I don't think we need another Magneto. I'm just kidding.
How dare you?
What is this for?
Gandalf the White.
Oh, the White. I was like, we just got the Crown series. What the fuck? Okay. That's cool. Yeah, this is great. It looks just like him. I have no complaints. I need a fucking Gandalf. I asked you to buy one of yours.
Oh, but you broke up. We got to talk about which one you wanted. And, all that
cool.
stuff. Yeah. You, as soon as you said it, you like dipped into space.
Yeah, I lagged out. Sorry.
It's all right, bro.
Yeah, this looks fantastic.
Yeah, so this looks really great. I think you alluded to it earlier, but how's the rooted hair in terms of like other rooted hair you've messed with on the previous iterations of this figure?
So, the first version was rooted also by Asmus. Let me rephrase. Asmus has made a Gandalf the White, a Gandalf the Grey from The Hobbit, and then now the Crown series. The Gandalf the Grey from The Hobbit was rooted also, but the way that they rooted that one was really weird. So the scalp was like a chunk of hair that they glued on. It wasn't like rooted to the skull.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But what they did was they would get like a tuft of, let's say like 50 hairs, and they would stick it like kind of like how you would do like a Barbie doll. Like, so it's just like lots of little, I don't want to call them dreadlocks or ponytails, but just little chunks of hair. And by adding enough of them, you kind of created the illusion of having hair. The way that they did the the gray figure is more the traditional rooting that I attempted to do with my rehair of that Gandalf, which was, I mean, kind of like how our hair is. It's not just patches of hair in a hole. It's, you know, coming out all over. So, the rooting is beautiful. Like the fact that, you know, if you look at rooting from any of these amazing customizers, you might be paying like $300-400 just for the portrait to be rooted. That's not paint. That's not an outfit. That's not accessories. I mean, this figure for $350. I don't know what the white one would be, but for $350 for the gray, you get the figure, you get 2 staffs, you get the goofy eye rolling system, which I think is fucking stupid. A diorama base with tons of little, really well done accessories, die-cast weapons, and an excellent rooting job, and a really good paint. I don't think it's like the greatest paint ever, but it's you know, pretty solid. So I have really high hopes for this. Obviously this is just a portrait. There's still a lot of fabric work to be done because the white outfit is super intricate. There's, you know, just a tremendous amount of little details in the stitching. But I have high hopes for this. I think it really depends. Like, for me, I'm like, I know I mentioned it with Darth Vader on the last discussion, but I'm like Gandalf's my favorite character, really. So I will be getting like the white version. If they make a Crown Series Hobbit version, like, I will be first in line for all that. So, you know, this is like right up my alley.
Thanks for that breakdown. Yeah, it looks phenomenal though. The sculpt looks spot on.
Use B.
Trying to find the mute button. Yeah, it looks great. I mean, the prototype looks great. That's definitely Ian McKellen there. You know, we'll have to wait and see what the final product looks like. I do agree. I hope that they do not do the eye movement stuff, or at least if they do it, that they move to something like Hot Toys uses for their PERS system or whatever is not whatever they did with the Crown series, because it looks definitely goofy. So, but yeah, if this comes out looking, you know, 90% as good as this is going to be killer. Ian McKellen, so definitely hot. We'll track this as it goes for sure.
Fern,
stop typing.
Are you on Whatnot?
Oh shit, my bad. At first glance, I thought this was that actor from that plays J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, God damn it!
I know,
because there's a movie where he's like completely
Simmons?
bald. Yeah, there you go. There's a movie where he's completely bald. At first glance, I thought that was him, but I think it looks really good. And like Dean said, I would kind of use it for like a Magneto instead of a. I mean, I'm not really into Lord of the Rings, so.
Well, it's gonna have like
good.
a beard and very specific hair, but yeah, you know, I'm right there with you, bro. You get it for the head. You give me the rest of the stuff, bro. I'll buy it off you.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, it's decent. So far so good. I can't complain in. I know who it is. Looking at it, there's a lot of potential. Let's just hope Asmus can deliver, and we just don't get too excited with the with these protos, and then, you know, the paint application or whatnot is not there. But so far, I can't say any complaints. I know who it is, and I'm excited to see. I don't necessarily collect the Asmus line, but I know you guys are huge fans, so I'm excited to see the end result, and hopefully it's good enough to add to your collection so we can do a nice unboxing. Annie, how many books did you just buy?
How dare you?
Jeez, y'all are killing me.
I don't know, man.
Fucking focus
Brandon's
on the
like
show, dude.
Because Brandon's
Jesus
like talking
Christ.
on the.
If y'all
Go to
have
bed,
other places
Brenton.
to be, fucking
Jesus.
Who gave him
leave
a
the show.
I don't know what he's arguing
Who
about.
gave
Like I
this
said,
fucking
they're just
guy a
two different
Brenton
cars.
said he's going to bed. Go
All
to
right,
bed,
Danny.
Brenton. All right.
Danny, I need you here.
I don't know what he's
Fern,
bitching
I
about,
need you
to be
here
honest.
too. Focus on.
Wow,
the
I
characters,
love to
for the
see
love of
it.
God.
Daddy turned into
So-
John.
I don't know.
I've never seen
villain
Danny
origin
Heaton, bro.
story.
This is different.
Amazing.
Everybody has
I
that
think this
snapping
looks
mark.
good. This is probably the Gandalf I've been looking for because it's gonna be straight in here from the two towers. So I felt like the first one, the Fellowship, you had to futz with it. I'm not a futzing guy, so I'm anticipating this release more.
This looks great, dude. The likeness looks amazing. Give him like sculpted, slicked back hair, and I'll take it like that. I'll have Ian paint it, and this will be a Magneto.
Wow.
That's honestly what I see here. But because I don't want rooted hair, man, and I mean, let's be honest, I'm not buying this shit even if it does look good. So I think they kill it with the likenesses. It's just the fucking. I don't know what happens from here to paint or something. Something happens, but I don't know. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they don't do the purrs. I think someone mentioned that. It looks the way the eyes are set here looks good. I don't want it to have that depth issue the other one had, but
Yeah.
I don't know. From what I'm seeing here, it looks good.
Let's move on. This is the Clint Eastwood Legacy Collection, The Man with No Name 6-scale figure by Sideshow. A lot of people are very excited about this. They said Sideshow presents The Man with No Name 6-scale figure from the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This piece is part of the Clint Eastwood Legacy Collection and will be making its way into Sideshow in the near future. RSVP for more details. I know Eric, one of our longtime listeners, probably fucking doing backflips over this. I'm not the biggest Clint Eastwood fan, but I've seen Redmond do a ton of Clint Eastwood stuff, all unlicensed, of course. So I'm excited that they're finally getting some licensed stuff. I'm interested to see how Sideshow would do it. I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt until I see it, but I don't know, man. Sideshow is one of those, like Eddie said, like, from proto to paint to final.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of shit that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And, Sideshow's prices can get up there. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see what we get.
Yeah, I need a Blondie in my collection. In fact, the other day I was going to buy the Redmond version 2. It's actually really good. But I'll just wait for this. This looks fucking incredible. Hopefully it's good. But yeah, this is like a day one. You got The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, a fistful of dollars, and a few dollars more with this character. 3 movies. He calls him Blondie in the movie, but like the figure says, The Man with No Name doesn't. It's like the protagonist in what's that movie called, Zach? Tenet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like they don't really have a name, but yeah, this is day one for me. So
I'm dying right now. Fern is off that lean. He was just back in his chair, just
Dude,
dying
Fern
right now.
fucking, I don't know what the fuck he took. He's over there in like
good
a
stuff.
different dimension, bro.
I took some
Fern,
cough
are you?
medicine, right?
Yo,
Took some
he
cough
sent me a
medicine.
comic today. I could.
That's what I was gonna say.
He sent me a comic today, bro. I could tell you what he took.
Damn, that good stuff. Hey, Fern, drop that in the private chat if you
Hey,
wouldn't
man, I
mind.
took some cough medicine. It's making me feel some kind of way.
Sure. Makes you cough once.
Awesome.
It's working.
So some Sprite, dude.
I haven't seen you cough once, you motherfucker.
It's that good. It's that good.
That was
It's working.
amazing.
Well, I don't sound like Barry
Dude,
White
Rona never
anymore,
stood a
so-
chance, bro.
But specifically on this figure, we were talking about the Muhammad Ali last week. Both my grandfathers were really into Westerns and really into boxing. So I feel like, I wasn't personally into Westerns or not been, but it'd be kind of cool to have like some representation to kind of, think of them. And in terms of where it might go in my collection, it'd be kind of cool to have him squaring off against an eventual Cad Bane we might get from Hot Toys. That'd be kind of a sick display. But that being said, I just don't trust Hot Toys Sideshow.
Oh, you love to hear it.
And Freudian slip there.
Hey,
The
shut
truth
up.
comes
Let's
out.
go. But yeah, Sideshow, I think they're definitely just a wait and see, but these promotional images look great. Like, it looks really interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a Western fan. Obviously he's super iconic. Clint Eastwood in this role is super iconic. So I'm glad those that are. I know JC in 6-scale Scavengers. He's big time into Westerns and stuff like that. So he's pretty stoked on this one, I think. But yeah, I mean, from the protos, everything was really good. You know, the materials look good. The scale looks good as far as the proportions of his body and all that stuff. You know, we'll have to see. I also don't trust Sideshow camp. I have a couple of their figures, and their newer stuff is okay. Like their X-Men stuff has been okay. So maybe they've improved on some stuff, but we'll see. I don't think I'll be adding this to my collection just because, yeah, again, it's not my thing. But for such an iconic actor and role for that actor, I think it's good to have, you know, everybody able to collect some new things that's not Marvel, Star Wars, or DC. So yeah, hopefully they knock it out of the park for those that love it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I like it a lot. It's one of my favorite westerns. Anything cowboys, and I love it. You know, I like to collect anything in that genre. So definitely a day one pre-order for me.
Yeah, I appreciate this. I appreciate the release. I think it's just the figures being done by the wrong company, in my opinion. I think this in the right hands would have been executed very well. Not to be negative, but just based on what we've seen, I haven't watched any westerns with. I haven't watched any westerns. I'll be honest. I think the only Clint Eastwood movie I've ever watched was $1 Million Baby. Right? Yeah, I think so.
You've never
That's
seen
not a western.
any of the Dirty Harrys?
No, none of them.
$1 Million Baby's a
my
good
God,
fucking.
bro,
I haven't
cannot
seen
wait
them
till it's
either.
my turn to watch.
I haven't
Yeah,
watched
pick a
any
movie.
Dirty Harry.
Dude, you
Nothing
gotta
with
watch-
Clint Eastwood, but
Wait, can I
$1
pick
Million
it
Baby.
tonight? The movie? I have a good movie then.
Is that available for streaming, Danny? Did you
Yes,
look?
it is. If everybody has HBO.
Only
I
if
know
you
what
give
you're
us
thinking.
100% of your attention
Wow,
till the end of the
okay.
show.
I guess
yes,
my
you
opinion
can.
Did he
doesn't
shoot
matter.
5 shots or 6?
As long as Brenton stops bothering
Oh,
me.
the only reason I know that line,
Jesus Christ.
Dean. The only reason I
I
know
can
that
give
line
you
is
my-
from Ace Ventura.
Oh, bro.
Eddie will know.
That was a good.
Wait, isn't it? No, it's
Do you
it's,
feel lucky, punk?
It's Mask.
Mask.
Oh,
That's the one.
No,
Mask.
he also quotes him in
And
Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, Bruce
Like,
Almighty.
the 357.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
most powerful handgun in the world.
But yeah,
You could blow
We'll
your
see.
head from your shoulders clean off. Bro, I could fucking quote that movie start to fucking finish. Dirty Harry is amazing. You gotta watch it.
if you're so dirty, I don't know why you
It
just
is
didn't take
good.
a shower.
Wow.
I hate
He's
you,
hairy too.
bro. Yo, I'm gonna make a skit based off of that comment, John. That was good.
Wow.
Like I can see from here, those legs look thinner than some toothpicks I've used. But come on, Sideshow, just
Jesus, they really do.
You can't
Like the
be-
Lord
Wow.
said, stand up and walk, dude. Holy fuck. Why are they so skinny?
you can't take a character like this and ruin it. So, Sideshow, I'm not going to be negative right off the bat. Just you better do your thing. I knock Hot Toys, but this license in Hot Toys' hands in their Icon line, where they did Michael Jackson, they did Marlon Brando. Who was the other one? James Dean. They had a license. I think they could execute it well. But
I don't
with
think that was
Sideshow,
Hot Toys.
huh?
The James Dean, that was Blitzway, I thought.
I think it was Hot Toys.
Hot Toys back in the day, a long time ago.
Oh,
they did
yeah,
one too.
yeah. James Dean, yeah, they did one recently. You're
No,
right, you're
recently
right, you're right.
it was not Hot Toys. I'm talking about the original. They had that
You're right.
nice
Hang on,
icon
John,
line.
Let
We'll
me
see.
hit you with one of these.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
A man can only admit when he was wrong and ask forgiveness.
Okay.
Sorry, sorry.
No,
bro.
it's okay. But yeah, what do you think, Danny?
Dude, I think this is amazing. I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan, so I'm just hoping they go up to. I hope they do Unforgiven because I'd like a William Money figure. So that would be my pick of the movie too, if I'm picking. So, yeah, I think these look great.
I'm with John. I haven't seen these movies. I have seen Clint Eastwood movies, just not these. These are before my time, and my mom wasn't into westerns, and so she didn't show them to me. But
Bro.
unless it's like Wild Wild West, she showed me that.
Dude, that's a good western, bro.
These are real
I love
spaghetti
that
westerns. They're like not even in English. Had to dub them over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the actors are Italian. So
I mean, he's so iconic that even if you haven't seen the movies, you know who he is. But
yeah.
I would love they announced this Clint Eastwood collection. I would love a Walt from Gran Torino. I don't think that'll ever happen. That's up there with the White Dragon figure. That we're never getting those things.
Especially now.
Wow.
No, but yeah, they call them spaghetti westerns because they had to film them in Italy, I guess, for shooting locations.
It was cheaper to shoot in Italy than it was
Oh,
here.
is that what it was? Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
fucking beautiful. You gotta watch these movies. Like I said, it's three movies.
Weren't a lot of the directors Italian also?
Dude, Equan is saying
Pretty
so
much
much
every.
shit
I
in the
think
chat.
I think
It's
Clint
like,
Eastwood might have been the only dude that
why do we even talk?
not Italian.
Wow. The Immortal Hero
I'm just kidding.
by War Story. There's not a ton of information about this. I looked at a few different sites, couldn't really find anything. This is the Todd McFarlane Spawn, the comic version. I think this looks really good. I was looking at the pictures and I'm like, I really hope they make him quite tall because, you know, Spawn's like a fucking 7 foot tall dude. And they fucking did it, bro.
Damn,
He's
why is he
fucking
so tall?
huge. 44 centimeters, so quite the big boy. Really nice. John, is this die cast here that we're looking at? Or is this plastic?
Oh, let me tell you
Small
right
ass
now. Hold on a
package.
second.
Right, that's not a very big crotch guard.
No,
Plastic.
it's not diecast then.
Plastic there. Probably more plastic here, but
Yeah. The chains,
overall
maybe.
not- yeah, those look. I think those would. That's probably cheap enough. You know, it's gonna be interesting to see the price on this. But man, if you're a fucking McFarlane Spawn fan, this is fucking gabagool. This looks pretty cool. You got that wired cape. Like you just fucking go to town with it.
Yeah, this is really, really cool to see. Especially, like you said, Zach, with the size, they nailed it. For a while last week, it disappeared. And we were thinking that there was some copyright thing involved. It was...
In fact, that's what Eddie Aero Maestro just said. He said it's not coming out. Todd canceled it.
It's still up on 1/6 I went to look. They did take it down for a while, so I don't know if that is exactly what happened.
This was on the
but
show sheet
yeah,
the whole week and
what's
no
his
one
name
told me
from
this?
Pose Wars with the Venom?
Pose
He
Wars.
posed Venom.
Loco
Lou.
Loco Lou. We were talking about it after a stream, and he was like, "Yo, they just took it down. Like I paid for it, and like a day later, it was gone. It's back up."
Yeah, okay, so this is the information here. 322 Q3 2022. Pre-order cutoff is the 10th of March.
Wow,
so yeah,
that's
it is
soon.
still up. Yeah, it is still up. They're probably cutting it off quick to kind of get those orders in.
I don't know if I like Spawn enough. I do like Spawn. I have a pretty good Spawn collection. But again, it's going to be one of those figures that's just alone on the shelf and that'll bug the shit out of me. But I might pick it up. I have to decide.
Yeah, there's 3 characters I really desperately wanted in 1/6. It's Spawn, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion. And so this looks awesome. Like the potential to get a Spawn. I don't love the size though. I feel like he's like a little too comically large. I get maybe that's accurate to the comic. But yeah, it's just tough to display him with anything else maybe beside the Carnage figure that's coming out. But it looks great. All the cape looks awesome. That would be like the one thing you'd be most worried about. So yeah, the price is a little steep, but again, for the size, it's probably pretty good value. So hoping this one actually comes out so we can see the final in-hand pictures.
But the size should be off though, because in the comics, from what I remember in the comics, he was the height of a normal human.
That's what I thought I recalled.
He can shapeshift and stuff like that, so I think he's supposed to be a little bit taller. But I think this is a little bit oversized because this is
That's
what,
like
44
Kingpin
centimeters.
oversized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you convert this to 6 scale, I think this equals like 9 feet tall or something like that, like in normal scale from 6 scale. So he's a bit tall, but I mean, you know, who cares? He's fucking awesome. So I've been wanting a Spawn figure for a long time, and yeah, I think I'll be trying to secure this one before it before Todd either takes it down or it gets hidden, kind of like some of the other Marvel stuff that they've done recently. yeah, I think it looks awesome. I think, yeah, like I said, it's a little bit big, but I don't think it matters. I mean, I think he's going to be by himself. I can't see them making really anything else that I would really maybe pick up from the series anyways. So by himself, yeah, who cares if he's a little bit oversized? This looks awesome. Cape looks awesome. Yeah, I think I'm going to be trying to get this one. So yeah, can't say. Hopefully the final ends up looking a lot like the prototype. I'll
Hey,
just
this
say that.
Lou.
Yeah, that's all.
Lou. I guess you don't have any information about if it got canceled or not.
I mean, it's available right now. You could pre-order right now.
I know, but maybe he got like a refund. I don't know. So I'm asking.
He should not be the same size as Thanos, though. What the fuck? Or like, that's way too big. A little big is one thing, but he's like bigger than big characters. So I think it's a cool figure, but he's too big. He's definitely too big. It's cool. I'm not getting 1/6 stuff anymore, else I would have jumped all over it. I don't know. I don't know if it'll come to fruition or not. I know Todd keeps a tight lid on these things, man, and there are some fan art statues out there, but that have like finished and everything, but they're pretty like locked up. You know, the commissioners don't talk about them very publicly, and it's kind of hard to get a hold of them. So I don't know if we'll see this. You know,
I never got into Spawn. As weird as that is it weird? I don't know. As a kid, never got into Spawn. I don't know what it is. Never watched the show. Never watched the movies. Huge fan base. I know that.
Don't watch the movie.
This looks good. It looks good. It looks what it is. What it is. I'm not a fan of it. I think the cape is cool. The accessories and the size. I'm a fan of the size, but we got to see the price point. We got to see the price point. But no, this is an easy pass for me. Oh, you got a Russian. Get rid of him. Okay, go.
I tried to get rid
that
of him.
seemed racial, man.
No, but it is.
Cold War II, baby.
Get out
Please
of
don't
here,
attack
man.
us. Please don't attack us.
See, you know what they
yeah.
did? So let me mention something quickly because you said Cold War. I'm sorry. Okay, actually, I'll save it. Sorry about that. I'm losing my mind. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
No. It's inappropriate to mention right now. Go ahead.
When is that?
No, I want to hear it.
Why are there so many Russians in our chat, bro? This ain't Ukraine. Get out of here.
Wow.
I was going to say, they announced today Call of Duty, they delayed the game because you won't have time to play the game when you're in battle. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Wow.
All right, sorry, guys.
Sing.
Can you imagine us
No.
sitting in the trenches being like,
Half
guys,
of what-
they announced the toy today.
I mean, on base, they're playing Call of Duty all fucking day, so.
Hell yeah, dude.
Anyone?
Back to Spawn.
Okay. Well, I was waiting for you guys. I don't know. I read up to like issue number 10, and the size thing does bother me, but maybe he does get bigger later on. But everything else looks pretty good. Like the cape. The cape looks almost exactly like the movie, which is good and bad at the same time. Because it looked cool at the time, but it was kind of badly done, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, if you're a Spawn fan, I can totally see why you would want this.
It says his height as Spawn is 6'11". He's
That's not
6'2" as
6'11".
Al Simmons. No, that's 9 feet tall.
This is the erect version, though. So
Whoa.
Jesus.
Maybe this is like a God mode version or something.
He's a grower, huh? How tall
No
is Michael
doubt.
J. White? Because he wasn't 6'11". What the fuck?
They did a lot to that movie that we.
I like that movie a lot. I
Bro,
don't.
it's
It's not a
so
good movie, but I love
it was dope. It was dope when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I think it was good for
Maybe
the
a-
time.
bro,
Dude,
if you go
John
back and
Leguizamo?
watch it, sometimes there's like
Leguizamo?
visual effects that like don't even fit on the screen, so it like cuts off in like a perfect square. It's
See, that
so
was actually
bad.
that was actually done by ILM also.
Well, they fucked up bad, bro. Big Fern.
Oh, I was waiting for you guys to be done.
Sorry.
I like it. I really like it. I'm not a huge Spawn fan, but I like Spawn enough. I recently picked up a Spawn #1. I might get it graded, and I might even pick up this figure to go with the comic. So
It's gonna be bigger than the comic.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Dean, you know what's not bigger than the comic? Our sponsor.
His penis?
Wow, Jesus.
Got him.
What do you?
Mine or Danny?
Damn, Dean
It's,
hitting that
it's
vape nation.
John. Do you keep forgetting that?
Oh, god damn it. Another 6 segue ruined.
Poor John, bro.
John, please.
Fucking reissues. They forget to say my name. Like, you know what? I'm just.
Because technically you're a reissue, but read.
Wait, what?
What?
Because he never mind. It was an inside joke. It didn't land though.
Oh,
I didn't get that one.
You bundle of worms, bro.
Jesus.
All right, guys, let's get to our sponsor here. 1/6 Corner. Their mission is to provide the best figures and collectibles to their customers. They offer great prices, great packaging, fast shipping, best in the business customer service. Right now, Collecting Weekly listeners get 10% off in-stock figures while our show is live using code CW10. That's CW, capital CW10. Choose your figures, pay safely with PayPal, and you know what you can do? You can leave the rest to them.
Wow. You love to see it. Our question of the week is, how do you collect? So Dean had this this great idea for a topic. I was talking to Marco and Gigi on their show, and we talked about like how I'd used my collection to fund some family things, or just fund other parts of the collection. And Dean had brought that up as well. And yeah, I mean that's really, I don't really collect too much for value. I don't really buy, like a lot of people in San Antonio, they'll buy a bunch of stuff, stock it, and sell it. I know Rainers does that quite a bit. But I'll buy things that I like. I'll collect them for a bit, and then when it's time to move to like a different aspect of collecting, I'll try to get my money back as much as possible on the things I collected. It's kind of a meme within the Patreon chat. I'm always like I've been into the McFarlane Batman stuff, and everyone's like, yeah, well, when you sell those things, like you could have just bought a premium format instead, which the math doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
It's like $800 is not the same as $20. Like, I'm sorry. And so I really feel like that's how I personally collect. I use my collection to fund more of my collection. Obviously, I put my own money in as well, probably more than I should. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have a focus. I think that's kind of the big thing in the Patreon chat. Also been arguing is collecting focus, and a lot of people are really like laser focused on one thing, and I can appreciate that, but for me, I'm kind of still all over the place, and I'll probably still be all over the place for a while. Also, I'm reading the private chat. Eddie, I did not change your name. That was not me.
That's a fucking false.
I
lie.
swear to God. I swear to God.
It was me.
Jesus.
I love that picture of you, bro. Your hat.
Zach, I apologize.
When I saw that, I
Dude.
thought that was from Ed and Eddie. Ralph was always like,
Ed boy.
calls him Eddie boy.
Like what fucking Dylan says all the time.
Hello, Ed boy.
There you go. Dean, how do you collect?
Yeah, so I collect basically what I cannot live without. Usually it's something that I love, like Star Wars, Robotech, Dragon Ball Z. Recently, Lord of the Rings. More recently, Punchline. And 9 times out of 10, if it's something I want, I won't sell it, because it's like, well, the whole point of getting it was because I wanted it. And if I sell it to fund something else, I'm out of that thing that I initially wanted. Now, recently, I really wanted this premium format Boba Fett, which I have wanted for years. And I got a pretty good deal on it, and I had the money for it, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather just keep that money and sell some things maybe I'm not so into anymore. So I sold a bunch of Hot Toys. I think 5 of them. Some Force Awakens stuff, because fuck that sequel trilogy. And some old Avengers figures, because they're coming out with bigger, better ones every year or every other year. So I got rid of Thor and Black Widow, and I was like, the newest Black Widow that's coming out is dope. It's got actual ankle articulation. It looks fucking cool. I'd rather have that one anyway. And Thor from the next movie, that's going to be a fucking sweet figure. So I'm just going to wait for that one. So I sold some stuff to fund my Boba Fett. But for the most part, if I'm buying something, it's because I intend to have it and keep it. So it's very rare that I go the route of Zach. I give him shit all the time for it too. I mean, if you listen to this show from the beginning, it's a point of contention all the time. Like, bro, you're just going to sell. You're going to get out of it. And he's been pretty good lately with the whole Lord of the Rings stuff. But he's made some weird purchases, like the gut statue. Now, I can't give him too know what the fuck Punchline was until I saw that statue and I ordered it. But Zach bought the statue and then started reading Berserk to get hyped.
No. I had seen the movies. I never read Berserk, but I saw the movies and then I got the statue and then I watched the anime.
Oh, is that what it was? He's a silly goose. He's a weird guy. So
Dopey duck,
I like to give him shit, but now I can't because I did the exact same thing and it's his fault and I blame him entirely. But yeah, that's just kind of how I collect. Is like if I'm spending the money, it's because I want it in my collection forever. So what about you, Eddie? How do you? You're kind of all over the place, actually.
I feel like
I feel like you're kind of narrowing it down now.
Yeah, I'm narrowing it down. I don't understand the question.
What an idiot.
I feel like it's a very broad question.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to make discussion. Like Eddie, obviously, and I don't mean this as any sort of slight, but
It
you
sounds
had a bunch
like
of,
it's
you had a
slighted.
bunch of figures. No, if you say no offense, it means you can't take offense. That's how
you're
that
correct
works.
on that.
No offense, but you had a bunch of figures, and then you sold them, and then you
Kinda
got a
like
bunch
limited.
of statues. Then you sold them, and then you got more figures. Then you sold them. Now you're getting statues. Probably in 3 weeks, you're gonna sell all those, and then you're gonna have more figures. So you do what I do. Like you use your collection to.
I know what you're
fund-
trying to do, man. You're trying to pin the selling shit, take it off of you, and put it
Yeah,
on
that's
to
gonna.
me.
It's a you thing now, bro.
Yeah, Zach's no
It can be
longer
both.
Eddie's
It's a
the new
both
selling
thing,
guy.
okay, guys.
Yeah, you could be a both collector. You could, hey, this one thing I know,
But
I'll
I will
never
say,
sell, but
I will say this: I have a tremendous amount of respect for Eddie because, I've been in the position that you've been in, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but obviously you used to have one place, and then it was kind of like, oh shit, we need to move now, and you liquidated a bunch of collection to, you stepped up, you sold a bunch of stuff, and you handled your business. I've done that many times. I think probably no less than half dozen times where Vivi gets really sick or unexpected expense comes up. Yeah, so I'm right there with you too. So I get it, bro. It's not always selling toys to buy more toys, but
I have mental health issues, dude. I have no idea. Like, honestly, I don't know how I collect.
laugh, but that went somewhere I was not expecting.
I don't know
got
how I
dark real
collect.
quick.
Yeah, I don't know how I collect. I don't know. I always fucking get mad at myself for spending money that I feel like could be used better in other ways, and I fight these fucking issues. I battle these issues in my head all the time. So,
Do you regret moving on from anything at all? Like after you sell, you're like, shit, I shouldn't have sold that.
yeah, I mean, I think everybody, not in the way to where I shouldn't have sold that. I miss the figures a lot. I'll miss owning. For instance, the other day, I love that song from Deadpool 2, the Ashes song by Celine Dion, I think, where it's the time. I think it was the time jump song or whatever. Anyway, that song came on while I was in my car, and I missed my Deadpool hot toy. I was like, damn, I had a lot of fun posing that hot toy, taking pictures and shit. So I'll regret it in that way. But I Zach's right. I like the focus that I'm on right now. I kind of do finally, for once, feel like I have a focus with the statues and stuff. So, and people were giving me shit about it today. I'm still going to buy stuff that's not statues. I just don't really collect them. I'm I'm definitely not buying 1/6 figures. Really, I have some that are gonna come in because they're still on order, but I still buy the vehicles. Like I'm gonna get that DeLorean. I'm not gonna pre-order it, but I will get it. And yeah, right now I guess how I collect is things that I like if they're in the parameters that I set. I think there needs to be rules to it, or otherwise it goes crazy. We were having this conversation on Mario's channel with Marco and Gigi. I kind of like that she tells them no, because I think we need someone to tell us no sometimes. So if I set these parameters that I set, it helps me be better. And I think that, because this is an addiction. Yes, it's cool that we collect, stuff that reminds us of our childhood and things. It does help. It is healthy in a lot of ways too. Like the feeling we get out of it and the love that it has, but in a lot of ways it could become a problem. So I like having rules and stuff. So that's how I set rules and I get my stuff within my guidelines. Now it's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean where they are just guidelines. Sometimes I escalate outside of those guidelines, but I try to stick to the guidelines that I set for myself and
it's okay to deviate, man.
Yeah, that was my question.
It's not like the world is ending, but I try to be
You could
a
survive
good
the
boy.
Cold War.
Wow.
That was my question to you. How do you, when you say whatever came out, say your favorite character came out, say you fucking really love that Yondu Hot Toys or whatever, say that came out tomorrow or something like that, and you needed it, but obviously at 6 scale you're not doing it, but you want it. How do you either refrain from buying it, or do you just say fuck it, rules are meant to be bent, and then you do that?
No, I just won't buy it. There are some I have this mental thing where I could just if I say I'm never gonna buy a 1/6 figure again, I'm never gonna buy a 1/6 figure again. I can just I can kind of do that cold turkey. Shut the fuck up, Danny. No one's
You said
talking.
that last time, man. You said that last time.
Yeah, but last time I didn't sell all my shit, man. This time is different. I'm really not buying 1/6 anymore. So I will see
you can
something.
still buy. Just have a focus.
Yeah, but it won't fit the collection. It also has to look right to me, the way it's displayed and stuff. And so that I don't know. It's just better if I don't buy them at all. That's how I do it, Sean. If I make an excuse for one that I really love, then I'll be making excuses all over the place. So I don't even bother with one.
Let me catch up on some of these comments real quick. Equan says, "What happened to collecting Howard the Duck stuff? Still doing it, still specking on it, and there's been some rumors, so you'll love to see that." Hugh has a great question. Let's star that. We'll come back to it. Lemur Hernandez says, "What up, guys?" P. Roxilla says, "You're a modern time Jawa." Don Mathon says, "I've never sold a single figure. You'll love to see it." Let's see what else we got here. Badfish said, "Zach has been proudly collecting Howard the Duck for 3 weeks." Equan says, "I support your collecting, especially all the Batmans. Get more Batman. You'll love to see it." P-Rock says, "If you saw that gut statue, let me know." Walton says, "Zach, did you watch the 90s anime or the terrible 2016 series of Berserk? I watched Bofa." Also, Cuervo wants to see to buy my T-Rex with the broken tooth. Manny says, "How do you collect?" Yes, truer words never spoken. Equan agrees there. Daminator agrees with Eddie. Who doesn't, Eddie? I'd love to see it. TK592, limiting myself to only a certain amount of every line that I like. I don't have space to collect everything, and don't feel you appreciate stuff when your room is jam-packed of collectibles. I know the feeling, bro. My room is definitely jam-packed. Eddie Arrow Maestro says, "Come back home, Eddie." Hashtag Eddie's together strong. Brian, we answered this earlier, so you might want to scroll back and check that.
Don't
if
start
you
it
don't
again,
mind.
Brian.
Gigi says to Eddie, she will be your sponsor for the Collecting Addicts.
I think she was
You'll love to
talking
see
about
that.
Marco, but I appreciate.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
She's his. Yeah, she's his sponsor.
DJ says, "True, Eddie. My girl always makes me take a step back and makes me think if I really want or need something. Boys, I bought something without asking Victoria today, and it was scary stuff.
Taking your life in your own hands."
She hit him.
Not wrong, bro.
I like not answering to somebody, but I think Eddie's right.
Yeah, it gets out of hand sometimes.
Squirrel says, "Stay disciplined, stay happy, stay enjoying your collection. Great, you'd love to see that."
Yeah.
Big ol' Fern, how do you collect, my guy?
My collection's kind of all over the place. like 3 months ago, I was really into Legos. Right now, I'm really into comics, and because of that, I've been really getting into X-Men. And I used to collect a lot of Marvel Legends, and I sold them all. And I kind of want to get the X-Men ones back, but they're super expensive. So I think I'm better off just getting the 1/6 scale ones. So Marco, if you ever sell that Gambit, let me know.
Sounds good, bro.
But yeah, I started off as just a Batman collector, and then eventually, I think at one point I had like almost all the MCU figures, Hot Toys, and right now I only have 2 of them MCU. So yeah, it's kind of just all over the place, I guess. Whatever I like at that moment, but yeah, that's how I collect.
Danny?
Daniel.
So,
Jesus.
how do I collect? I like to have a focus like Eddie. You have to have certain rules. Try and keep by the guidelines if you can, but I mean, you got to stray. Like I said, I do not want to collect any more 1/12. But then Marvel Legends puts out these cool looking figures that are like just always like just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, like Godfather 3. So I think you gotta try and stay focused, but you're gonna sway. Try not to go too crazy. And the way was the question also how do we fund the hobby? Like, do we sell?
No, just
If
in
that's
general,
how
how
you
do you
collect?
collect? Yeah, if you sell
that's
your
how you pay for
collection.
your stuff.
I know you've mentioned selling a bunch of comics to get that Ultimate Grail book, so yeah.
Yeah,
the
I
world is your
like
oyster,
for
bro.
comics. Comics is different. Comics you can get in at like $3.99, $2.99 a book, and then it goes up to like hundreds to $1,000. So like you might not have that big of an attachment to it, so it's easy to let those go to get something that you cherish more. Like I'm an X-Men guy, so like I had Invincible #1, the Image. Like it's worth a lot, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I just happened to have picked it up on that Wednesday, so like I have no issues moving that to get a better book. Like that's how I feel sometimes. But would I move like an X-Men book to get I wouldn't move X-Men books because those are my focus. So like you just kind of keep what your true love is, and then push out the ones that are low in the tier, I guess. Like the Marvel stuff for 1/6. Oh, I got pulled into the hype, and I just bought like a bunch of the MCU stuff. But then like after like maybe a year, I felt I just don't really need that representation on my shelf. Like I'm happy just seeing the movies, and that's enough. So I find myself selling those now to get the Star Wars pieces I want. Like I'm more of a Trooper guy, so whenever there's a new Trooper comes out, I'm like, oh, let me sell Hawkeye, let me sell Captain America. So that's how I kind of fund the new stuff, is to get rid of the lower on the totem pole characters.
I'm next. I know a lot of people are gonna like the way I collect. That's for sure.
Here we go.
I started at 15, so I started back in the day, man. Comics. So I've always kept that comic mentality when it came to collecting. Until I saw my first Iron Man figure. I held that first Hot Toys Iron Man figure back in 2008, and I was hooked. At that point, it went from that one, then it went to the Dark Knight Bank Robber Joker, and it just grew. And then I held my first statue, that Mary Jane by Sideshow. And back then, it was a different type of collecting. It was not necessarily that you collected for value, but value was always attached to your collectibles once they sold out. You get in the groove of things. Wow, I bought this Iron Man, and I bought it for $200, but now it's worth $500, and it's like, wow, okay, so I can kind of park my money here. And just that's the way the companies were doing business at the time. And that's why I think right now I have that old school mentality. And it's not because I'm greedy. It's not because I'm a scalper. I haven't sold a piece in my entire whatever years it's been collecting.
You dirty flipper.
More than 15 years. It's just, you can sit here until you're blue in the face if you tell me that you don't like buying something and then it appreciates in value. You can say it's selfish. You can say it is, but you love it. When you check your income, when you check your property tax slip at the end of the year and it says your house price has increased 100, 200, 300,000, you love to see it. I'm not going to say it's the same thing, but it's it's parallel. It's it's in the same direction. But my collecting pieces individually, things I've always liked to collect things that are attached to my childhood. Something, or when I watched a movie, a scene in the movie, and it really got you emotionally. I like to put my money into those pieces. But yeah, I think I've really pivoted in collecting. I don't pre-order unless it's something really limited. But yeah, like Hot Toys and stuff, I don't pre-order. I refuse to pre-order those anymore. Just done. If it comes out, it comes out. If it hits waitlist, I might jump on the waitlist. But the pre-order, no. But I bitch and complain about Hot Toys. I still support them. Look, they do the best 1/6 scale figures. So if that's what you like, that's where you're gonna get it. As of right now, healthy competition is coming. We'll see, but they do some great work and some great renditions of characters. So I'll still support them, but just have to hear the bad stuff when I see bad businesses happening. But regardless, but that's my collecting. I'm getting back. Danny kind of pulled me back to my childhood in the comic realm. I love these comics, the art on the comics, some of the stories I'm getting back into, but really the whole grading process. And even Dean said it. I picked up my first CGC slab, and when the guy handed it to me, I'm like, wow, it's like it's a whole experience, and being able to display it nicely as well in the collection, it's cool. Of course, the value is great as well. You pick up a nice first appearance or a nice book, and then it skyrockets. Of course, who wouldn't be happy? But that's my kind of collecting. I won't lie. I collect a little bit for value, but just what I'm used to.
Yeah, I would say really interesting that, John and I have very different collecting timelines and, ultimately the way that we display things like pretty differently. But we collect for a lot of the same reasons. And what you were saying, John, like I don't collect for the value to go up, but you're right. If I see a figure that I have that has gone up in value, that makes me feel good. So I totally get what you're saying on that front. So it's not my only consideration. Again, to what you're saying about the childhood, like I collect characters that, resonated with me from when I was a child to now. And obviously, only collect 1/6 right now, but, have had, well, that's a lie because I've already, dipped my toe into the 1/12 scale, have an eye on some statues. I don't think I'm going down that road, but, it's interesting to have those conversations with others in the community and, with Legos and comics. Danny, you pulling all those 9.8s really, made me, have an eye on comics. So I will just say that the reason I collect I want my display to look nice, right? So at the end of the day, my figures, I don't want them to be crammed. I want everything to look, kind of clean. And so if that means that I need to either sell or, put figures in storage and kind of cycle them through, then that's really what I'm prepared to do. Eddie, to your point about Gigi kind of, keeping me in check, we play it up for a comedic factor. At the end of the day, she really kind of lets me do what I feel is best for my collection, right? And obviously there's a tax that I pay, so that limits me. And I've got my own guiding principles about, this is as much money I've set aside for collectibles this month. And yes, I get into trouble just like anyone else. Like, man, I'm spending way too much right now. But at the end of the day, I think, it's good to have her balance me out so I don't get too far off the deep edge, but, I'm able to kind of pick up the pieces that speak to me. And then I guess the last thing I'll say, Zach, I was just really impressed by what you said about liquidating your collection to, help step up for your family. And I hope if I was ever put in that situation, that I would be ready to part with all of these. I think I would, but it's got a sting to be able to, to move on from your babies. But at the end of the day, we can get these things back.
I remember when Vivi, I don't remember if I shared this story on your show. Maybe I did. But when Vivi was first born, Dean remembers this. My favorite figure at the time was the Mark 46 Civil War. And she had kind of a traumatic arrival. She was a little early, a little bit of NICU stuff. And we had Garbo insurance, so it was quite expensive. But yeah, I had to basically sell that figure because it was really going for quite a bit of money over what I paid for it. So yeah, that was a toughie. I did get it back. and I did sell it again. But at that point, it was like I sold it on my own terms, right? One of the friends of the show, Sean Lockridge, was selling an Ultimate Fallout 4, and I sold that figure and bought that because that to me was like it was at this point Hot Toys was reissuing left and right Mark IV, not Mark IV rather, but like Mark V, like a bunch of different shit was coming out, other figures, and I knew holding onto a figure that was like an $800 figure at the time was just a bad move. Like that's like one Hot Toys post away from going fucking cut in half.
It's a good point. You got to sell when it's hot.
At this point, they haven't released the Mark 46, but because of the constant reissues, the Mark 46 has kind of tamed its value, like it's kind of capped. And luckily for me, the Ultimate Fallout 4 is like Danny posted, like it's gone up from the I think I paid like $630 for it, somewhere around that price point, more than doubled.
It's like $1,300 now.
Yeah, that's VV's like, college fund right there, like that plus some other books that I'm holding for her. But but yeah, it's definitely been a thing where more than one occasion it's had to happen. So
it's really beautiful.
Hopefully when you get it, not hopefully, if I never want you to be there, but push comes to shove, you're willing to let it go. And I will say things have been better for us the past few years. Victoria's got a really great job now, so we've been in that situation less and less. But shit ever hits the fan again,
and
it's fire sale, baby.
And quickly to that point, Zach, and I think that's why relates back to my feelings as well, as in the sense that, okay, some people are selfish and they want the figures to be worth something to sell and make a profit, but you invest this money, it's great to have that value and increase so that if you do have an emergency, you can sell and depend on the funds, whether it's to update your collection, whether it's for a family emergency or whatnot. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, definitely.
To buy and whatnot.
Wow.
Said whatnot, so it's like to buy and what.
He did say whatnot. So my collecting journey, I'll start with the journey. I've collected my entire life. I'm 40 now. Well, I'll be 40 in April. And so I've collected a lot of things over the years. I obviously started with cards and comics when I was a kid. Then kind of got out of it. And then when I got back into it, I started with Lego and the Play Arts Final Fantasy figures and some of the sort of United Cutlery, Lord of the Rings swords and stuff like that. And then, you buy that first 6-scale figure. I forget which one it was, but you're like, holy shit, these are awesome. And that just sparked it. And that was probably around 2012, 13, maybe 14, something around there. So been collecting that ever since. I think my thing is I think too much shit is cool and like to collect a lot of different scales and things just to have a focus. I think I'm running out of space, so I think I need to focus. Which I guess my GG will be Eddie. I'm just gonna text him whenever I need that someone to say no. But yeah, so how do I collect? I definitely collect to sort of remember, my emotion at the time that I saw it or read it or whatever. So, collecting an entire line of Avengers figures, even though they're not the best figures, it reminds me of, culmination of the first phase of the movies and seeing Avengers like 6 or 7 times in the theaters and how freaking awesome it was. And, same with, the sideshow X-Men figures. X-Men's my favorite, sort of commodity or group. So, collecting those again, just kind of reminds me of that. So again, I collected a lot of different stuff. I think I'm starting to pare it down. I think my main thing is I'm pretty visual and I have a plan and all that stuff, but I've been waiting forever for these module cases to get in. And now that they're in, I'm starting to put stuff in and see what works, see what doesn't, etc. So I think I'm going to do a bit of a purge here soon and use it to fund some other vacations for the family or just, to fund sort of a year of collecting type deals. So as far as, stuff other people have touched on, like value and stuff like that, I think value, you'd be lying to yourself if you think value isn't any part of collecting. I think some people it's the first item on the list that they look at. So for some people it's the 10th. And I think a lot of us are somewhere in between. So I think that's why I have tended towards Hot Toys and Mezco and stuff like that, and again now comics, is that they do in general hold their value. The Hot Toys that I have sold, I've never sold anything for less than retail, or if I have, it's right around retail. So I think that's why I've gravitated to them. So to say, I talked a lot about value before, but it's definitely in there. So but in general, I definitely just collect what's cool, collect what sort of gives me an emotional response, and go from there. I'm sort of the opposite of Marco in that I like sort of a full display, not necessarily cluttered display. I don't want to say that, but I know you have one figure per shelf. I like it a little bit more condensed than that, and that's fine.
I
So
think you could have it both ways. I think I've seen clean, module case setups.
Yeah. So, I think that's what's great about collecting is that we can all collect differently, and that, we can all talk about it. And so, yeah, I collect a lot of stuff. I've gotten back into comics recently. I've never had a graded comic until this year, and that just sparked out a whole thing. Danny, the grand enabler. So, yeah, it is, it's a whole new world there. So, yeah. I don't know what John's doing there, but yeah.
Smacking Danny, making everyone spend their money.
Gigi's very impressed.
Gigi. Those are one of the cases behind me. Yeah.
Wow. Danny says he got them too.
I got them too.
She's horrified to think that whole wall is display, but that's going to look so sick when you're finally got it all set up.
Yeah, I'm slowly but surely, man. Two kids are taking up a lot of my time, but slowly but surely going through it all.
Make them help.
Well,
my son's 6. He would
Zach,
love it, but I don't know if he's
third comment.
Put it that way.
Thank you so much, Eddie. You fucking gift from God. Hugh says, how has inflation and rising costs impacted the way you collect? There was certainly a lot of things that I liked this year that I was very interested in, but most of what I've been picking up or have on pre-order is kind of that pre-inflation price point stuff. So the Asmus Gandalf, I think if it came out like right now, it'd probably be like a $420 and up figure. The Prime 1 quarter scale Batman, I think that would probably add a few $100s more tacked onto it at the start. So I've been kind of circling back. Like I got that Prime 1 Guts. Ricardo was nice enough to give me like a 5-month payment option on it, which was awesome. But that's a statue that retail, like if it came out today, would probably be 50% more than what it retailed for. So, I think I've kind of circled back and tried to get things that are still retail that are kind of at that pre-inflation price point. I mean, the thing is, inflation is always happening, right? It's not like tomorrow our money's going to buy us more things, right? Typically, it always trends up. So, yeah, it's definitely impacted me in that way. But, I'm not particularly losing sleep over it. I'm still getting the figures that I really like. And maybe being a little bit more selective with things that I don't. I would say it's actually impacted me most with like the cheaper figures. Black Series going up to 25. That's a tough pill to swallow. Even like funny enough, like at the dollar store, like we went there the other day to get Vivi some like random shit, and like that extra 25 cents, man. It's like it's not that much, but like paying 25% extra on something, we'll go there and buy her a bunch of random shit, and it's just like, Jesus, why is it so expensive? So yeah, inflation's always a thing. So, it's just something we got to live with. Dean, what about you? Has it affected your collecting at all?
Yeah, just depending on some stuff. Like the SH Figure Arts line, the Dragon Ball Z line specifically. There's a lot of great figures that I really wanted, and they're just too expensive for what you get. I mean, Figure Arts usually come with a bunch of stuff, but I mean, they're 6-inch scale, and you're paying almost as much as a Hot Toys sometimes, $160. Like,
yeah.
Now I know Hot Toys prices are expensive now, but I mean, I've gotten Hot Toys figures for around there, used, but still, like, I could get a much better figure for basically the same price. So I stopped collecting Figure Arts. Now, they do come out with some every once in a while, $40, $50, $60 tops is what I'll pay for a Figure Arts. But But yeah, even like the Black Series line, those are $30 now, 35 depending on the figure, and it's like, bro, like I'm not getting $35 worth of figure here. Like, so on some instances, yes, it has definitely affected my collecting. On things like Hot Toys, it's like, yo, like they're paying usually like a master sculptor. They're tailoring the outfits. So if I feel like it's worth the money, I'll still buy it. Now there are some Hot Toys that are like, well, that seems excessive. Like the Bo-Katan, I really want Bo-Katan, but what is she, like 285 or like almost $300? I feel like that's too much for that character. But you know, I also just spent $1,500 on a statue of a character I just started, getting into. So yes and no is my answer.
Hell yeah, bro.
Just depends.
That's the way to do it.
You only live life once.
You live in life like Zach.
Some people
buying
believe in
$1,500
reincarnation.
statues of characters you know nothing.
That's why I said I can't give a shit anymore about it.
It wasn't that expensive, Eddie.
Apparently Disney's frozen.
yeah, Eddie or Zach rather got a really good deal on that. Sorry, John, go ahead.
Disney is like cryogenically frozen. No, he's living more than once.
Right next to Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Wow. I guess it would be what I would be saying is to reiterate what you guys already said. The way inflation changed it for me was, I don't think when I started collecting, I was collecting all kinds of stuff, like pops and figures and Hot Toys and the occasional statue. And I think prices going up on things tapered down, like those items that I bought. Like I bought less of something else to buy something else. I think that was a big thing. And then me switching to statues was a big part of inflation. And then like what's going on in the past couple of years with the world. Not necessarily inflation, but the pandemic and everything. Hot Toys was getting to a price where I was like, okay, I like statues more. Why am I going to keep buying Hot Toys when I can save the money and put it towards something I care more for? Or I don't necessarily think they're worth what they're charging anymore. Like, I don't think they're doing as good a job as they could be for what they're charging. So I had to get out of it. And what else was I going to say? I don't know. That's how it's affected me. And then with buying statues, shipping is a big part of how I pre-order or where I go to buy. That's not necessary. I don't know if that's inflation. That's just what happened with the pandemic.
The rising costs of fuel
and
transport.
I will not buy a statue if I don't know that the shipping will be reasonable. So I try to pick the companies based off that. Like Collector's Own shipping is already included in the price, so I know what I'm getting there. Big Bad is a good one, even though you wait forever. I need to know that. I'm glad I know that it has that $4 shipping. And then Spec, Todd at Spec Fiction, he's really good. A lot of the stuff for the US is free shipping, and if it's not, you know it's going to be a decent price, or he'll work with you. So that's probably the biggest thing with statues in that aspect, you know.
Anyone else want to touch on the inflation thing before we move on?
I'll say something. I think it's affected me in that I definitely stopped collecting pops and smaller scale stuff. Like I haven't bought any Legends this year or anything like that. Aside from the VHS tape ones, because those are just too nostalgic to pass up. I definitely have stopped buying doubles of. I used to buy basically every kind of Mezco release that would come out. The exclusives that would come out, I would buy a double of, because usually you could sell the second one for double retail and pay for the first, but now they're to a price. Usually they're 95, 100, sometimes $110 because they pack them with whatever. So I don't buy doubles anymore. And definitely, yeah. I tend to pre-order stuff still only because I refuse to pay the extra tax and shipping and all this stuff. So I try to buy from places, small mom and pop shops that I can get it for no tax and shipping or whatever.
I'm with you on that, John.
Yeah, so I try and pre-order from there. That's really the only reason why I pre-order
names,
anymore
please.
is because no names. I ain't saying nothing. So yeah, that's about it. Just kind of.
Get out of here.
All right, let's move on. AMC Artisan Films' The Batman movie has officially received the AMC Artisan Films seal, which is reserved for films that are artist-driven in a way that advances the art of storytelling and filmmaking. The only other comic book movie in history to get this distinction was The Joker 2019. Movie theater telling you a movie's great kind of doesn't mean that much, but I think it's interesting. And I'm very excited to see that. What I was not very excited to see was our movie of the week, Terminator Dark Fate. In Mexico City, a newly modified liquid Terminator, the Rev 9 model. Rev, not a very threatening name, I'll tell you that much, arrives from the future to kill a young factory worker named Danny Ramos, also sent back in time as Grace, a hybrid cyborg human who must protect Ramos from the seemingly indestructible robotic assassin. But the two women soon find some much-needed help from a pair of unexpected allies, seasoned warrior Sarah Connor and the T-800 Terminator.
Nope.
Can they just let this franchise die? Jesus H. Christ. I don't understand why we keep getting these movies. Like, I don't know.
Just cut it at the knees.
I'll be honest, like, when it came to the movie of the week, I was very adamant with John in the chat. Like, I'm not paying to watch this movie. I refuse. And it turns out I had already paid for this movie and watched it, and I remembered none of it.
Nice.
The first few minutes of the movie are amazing.
Oh.
Like, and I'm not saying because of the plot. I'm just talking like how crispy the fucking CGI was. Like, that shit blew my fucking mind. I was so excited to watch this movie. But what I don't like, and Dean, I know you have my back on this, is I don't like when movies try to undo shit from other movies, specifically classics of their franchise. I can't stand it. And I understand Terminator as a franchise. It really gets into that whole, you can go back in time, but you can't change the original timeline, and it's very confusing, the timeline that they work with. I tried to watch this movie twice. I could not finish it. The opening scene is great, but I honestly don't have a ton to say about it. It's not... This is probably my least favorite of all the Terminator movies. I didn't mind the Christian Bale one, to be honest. That one was actually pretty neat. Yeah. But this one, it's a toughie.
This is your least favorite? Even Terminator 3 is better than this one?
Yes.
Terminator 3, as bad as it was much better than this one.
Oh, man.
I didn't mind Terminator 3. Which one's that one where they go to the mountain at the end?
With the naked chick in the beginning?
Oh, you had me at naked chick.
Yeah,
What was the one before this?
I don't
Genesis?
fucking knows.
Oh, gosh.
Genesis,
that one.
yeah.
No,
that was horrible.
Genesis
too.
was the one with
That was
the Asian Terminator, right? Because I didn't hate that one.
Yes.
Did I
yes,
watch
it was.
it?
Genesis.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Genesis was interesting because it made John Connor the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
And
There you go.
I thought that was a really neat take on, like, altering the timeline and stuff. And I didn't hate it, but it wasn't great. Honestly, T1 and T2 are untouchable. Everything after that has been kind of garbo. Terminator 3 is watchable, at least. Terminator with Christian Bale, I forget what it's called. It starts with a
Salvation.
Salvation.
Yeah. That's the best one.
Letter away. I really actually enjoyed that movie, but again,
That
like,
movie's awesome.
it almost
Yeah,
didn't even
that's
feel like a Terminator movie, but it was cool because you got to see the things that John Connor talked about in the first movie, or not John Connor, Kyle Reese.
Kyle Reese.
Running away from the HKs, like,
And
all
he was a
his
good cast,
experiences.
too. He was
Great.
a good
It
cast.
really was.
Great cast.
But it was also good because it showed, like, in 1 and 2, John Connor, like, you get the vibe that this motherfucker's like Jesus, like he's like the fucking coming of Christ, like, and then in Salvation, he's like, I mean, he's important, but he gets shit on quite a bit by his COs.
And so that movie also better than Terminator 3, so it's more than just watchable; it's enjoyable. The whole before I even get to this movie, the whole point of Terminator 1 and 2, at the very end of 2, is there's no fate but what we make. This doesn't have to happen. We can be better. And then in Terminator 3, it's like, nah, it's going to happen no matter what you do, so sorry. It's like, you just fucking shit on the whole message of Terminator 2. None of this needed to happen. They did not need to make these movies. Zach is right. Let this fucking franchise just go. So this movie, the opening scene...
undoes T2.
I will say this movie is a direct sequel to T2. It
is it
posits that
retcon
none
the
of the
other
other
ones?
things. Yes, it posits that none of those things ever happened. This is a direct sequel.
But that's a terrible. But then
Including
it
the
starts the
movie
movie by
itself.
completely undoing
Wow.
everything from T1 and T2.
Yeah.
This is
did you
trash,
guys ever watch
USB.
the-
I don't care what you say. This is
Did you guys ever watch the show?
Sarah
Yeah,
Connor
that was
Chronicles?
actually decent.
That was a
Yeah,
banger
yeah.
show. Again, I don't think it was necessary, but it was pretty good. It got canceled. I think it's only 2 seasons, maybe.
And she was cute.
Yeah, the T series in that show, hell, like she's from Firefly. But anyway, this movie, the opening scene with the CGI and like they're at the beach, and the Terminator comes up and kills fucking John Connor. Fucking crazy. That's about where it stops being good.
Because you get the ruthlessness of the Terminator, right? Like,
Right.
even in 1 and 2, it's ruthless, but it's like, obviously, like, you kind of have some plot armor, right? Like, they're not going to die because they really can't, the most important people.
Right.
But, dude, that opening scene, it's like, well,
That
T1
opening
and
scene was
T2 were
epic.
cool. You know?
Yeah. As cool as the opening scene is, you're right, Zach. Like, well, that was what we had was great. Now we got to deal with this, and it's just not good. And honestly, I was really excited for this movie because the same what's his name, James Cameron came back, and I was like, okay, this is like a legitimate fucking like here we go. It's his story. Let's get it done. And talk about dropping the fucking ball, bro. This is actually unwatchable.
I failed,
This is
Eddie.
the-
Good.
Wasn't the director the guy that did Deadpool as well?
Yep. That I did not know until I looked it up, and I
Yeah,
couldn't
it says it
believe
right there on the movie poster.
Wow.
Really?
You know what else it,
Literally
you know what
right
it
above
doesn't say on,
Terminator.
you know what it doesn't say on the movie poster, Dean?
The CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer.
Dude, I was going to say it when it was my turn.
Damn it, Dan.
You know the last movie with Daenerys Targaryen. At least it was like fun. You were like, oh, like this is.
Oh, man, I
interesting.
forgot about that one.
It kind of explains why the Terminator looks old. You're like, oh shit, okay, like
Pops,
I
is that
get
what she
it.
calls it?
This is just not good. This is just really. It's just like I said, it's unwatchable. I'm sitting there like, what am I fucking doing here? Like, for such a beloved, I don't even want to say franchise because it's really just 1 and 2 that I like
Salvation
wholeheartedly. I have problems with all the other ones, but like I said, they're watchable. This, how dare you, John? Now, John didn't know. He'd never seen it. He'd never seen it either, so I'm not going that hard on it.
I think we're giving this movie too much credit already. We're taking way too much long. This should have been right at the knees, done.
Yeah, go on.
This I disagree with Dean and Zach in the fact that I don't want them to stop using this franchise because I think they can make good movies without having to use T1 and T2.
Yeah.
Salvation
Yeah, that's fair.
could have been a better movie than it was with the story. I think it could have been
It was a good
a
movie.
really good one. It's okay, but it's not amazing.
How dare you?
The cast is really great for it, but the story is like whatever. They could have done better. But with this, like John says, don't sugarcoat shit. This is a woke piece of shit movie that it has no purpose other than to destroy your shit and to tell a message. and that's why it fucking sucks, dude.
This was
There's
a
no
payday
storytelling
for
here
those
at
guys.
all. Like,
It's just
that's why
preaching.
they
It was a
killed
direct
John Connor
copy.
in the beginning. They want to tell you, like, fuck you guys.
Yep.
This is our story.
There goes
So
your
it's-
childhood.
Yeah,
There goes
exactly.
Luke
I hate-
Skywalker.
Right in the chest.
I hate
There goes the
stuff like
fucking
that.
hero.
dude.
Six Scale Mafia super chat. Terminator, Aliens, Predator, Die Hard, all ruined. Pudgy says, "Preach, Eddie." Sorry about that.
And it doesn't even make sense because, yes, John Connor is the savior, but that dude would be nothing without his mom, who is a woman, who is the strongest woman in fucking pop culture, arguably. Like,
oh,
this is the 80s, bro. Like, this woman is a badass, and she always was a badass.
Yeah.
And she,
Yeah.
like, so it doesn't even make sense to me that they needed to do that.
Yeah, it's like
No, she kind of became a badass.
Yeah, she was a
She
nobody
was a
in
waitress.
T2.
She was
But
just a waitress.
Eddie's saying that the story's just written well. That they don't need to shove it down your fucking throat like woman's
Yeah.
strong. It's like she's just a fucking awesome character
Yeah.
that everyone's like, holy shit, she's a fucking badass. You don't need it fucking spoon fed to you. Okay, guys, here you go. You're gonna like this
Exactly.
now, right? It's like I don't need that. Just write a good fucking character. Write a good story. I'm with Eddie.
Are you done, Eddie?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I literally just want to get it over and done with. Like,
Thank you,
this is just so fucking like 6.2 out of 10 IMDb, 70% Rotten Tomatoes. Runtime.
I was just about to say that.
2 hours and 8 minutes of. Well, I'll put it to you this way. I'll be honest. I didn't even finish the movie. That's how bad it was. I'll be honest.
Shut you down, John.
The second
Wow.
I didn't finish it either.
The second
I didn't either.
she put her hands on Sarah Connor and made her weak, I shut the fucking thing off. I was like, no. Sorry. You know when she put her against the wall and she's just like, you know what I mean? Made her look stupid? I'm like,
Yep.
no. Because this obliterates the Terminator franchise. Obliterates it. The beginning, though, holy mac. I'm like, I don't know what you guys were talking about. This is going to be good. Because you saw a scene that you never think you'd see in a Terminator movie ever. Right to the chest. The kid's gone. Done. Badass. The rest of the movie, when they're in that car part, when they're in the car assembly work thing, and the CGI they use, the effects, oh my god. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't even get to see Arnold. I didn't even get to the point where Arnold's revealed in this movie. That's how fast I shut it off. Sorry. Garbage. Garbage. I want to hear one other person complain about Richie Rich. 10 times better. Richie Rich was there.
I'll give you
I'll
that.
give
This
you
might
that
be
argument.
this might be the
Yeah.
worst movie we've ever
I
picked.
would
I have to
Richie
apologize.
Rich.
And in my defense, I've passed by this movie so many times on the streaming services. I'm like, I want to watch this one day because how they can't mess up a Terminator movie. It's going to be epic. Wow, was I wrong?
John.
And can I ask another question, just for shits and giggles? Why is it held in Mexico? Like, why is the theme in Mexico?
Oh,
though?
no.
Like, is it
They-
attached to this? Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
that's where she.
They go to Mexico at the end of T2 to get off the radar.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, I didn't remember that. Okay.
But John, I would
Sorry.
rather watch Richie Rich start to finish on repeat for a year,
yeah.
over and over again, than watch this.
Yeah.
Hell
Indian
yeah.
in the cupboard.
Whoa,
The Cover was a
that's a
class.
pretty good movie.
That's a good
Danny,
movie. Man. Darth
get him
Vader's
the
in that
fuck
movie.
out of here.
I want to see what
What does
Danny's
he
going to
say?
pick.
What does he say on Big Daddy? If you don't like spaghetti and meatballs, why don't you just get the fuck out?
All right, Danny, let's go.
balls.
Cut it at the knees.
DJ says, "Welcome to the
I-
racist hour."
I never even watched
Who
this
said
one.
that?
I think I barely watched
on
it at
Friday.
a poker game.
Who said worst? Welcome to the fucking smack.
So I can't really say anything
Whoa.
about this movie because it wasn't available.
Terminator said this movie is as good as the Star Wars sequels. I'd rather watch
Wow.
this, to be honest.
Yeah, I would too.
Actually, I
At
thought about
least-
that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I would rather watch the sequels than
Yeah.
this.
that's a good point.
No, I'd rather watch this.
All right, Danny, go spill the beans.
I
You
don't
didn't watch
remember
it.
it. I didn't rewatch
Oh,
it. I
perfect.
watched it once in the background of a poker game, and that's it.
So you're lucky.
I want to
bad.
hear Sean
That's
on
bad.
this.
That's bad
honestly.
that you don't remember a movie. You don't remember a Terminator movie like that. That fucking
Yeah.
sucks. You
You
know
must
what I
have been
mean?
winning the poker.
Oh no!
Go
Fern.
on, Fern.
Liquor in the front, poker in the back.
I
Jesus
I actually liked this
Christ.
movie, to be honest. I'm
Oh,
probably the only one
fucking-
that actually liked it.
Okay, let's hear it.
No, you're not.
Outside of like DC and Marvel and Star Wars, Terminator is like my favorite franchise. I had all the Hot Toys figures, but I ended up selling them, and I kind of want them back. But I was really hoping they would make Arnold for this movie, and they didn't. Well, a third party company did, but it looked horrible. But I actually like them. It's not the best, but I think, to me personally, the worst one is probably Terminator 3.
Yeah. No.
But
You know what's the
But
only
that-
good part of Terminator 3?
but then again,
I'm
like I
sorry.
said, you can't compare any of
Titties.
these movies to T2, because T2 just like I said is the best movie ever made. It's better. I'm sorry to say it, but it's better than Star Wars. It's better than
What?
Fire?
Okay, that's a hot take.
that to me is the best movie ever
That
made.
NyQuil, man. NyQuil's kicking in.
I think it's the cough medicines that's affecting.
Fern on that
Your
good
judgment.
lean, bro.
All right, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm kind of
That's
agreeing
just
with
my
high ass
opinion.
Fern over here. So something might be wrong with me, but no, Fern,
Wow.
this is kind of a decent movie, right? Like compared to 3 and to Genesis, like this is head and shoulders above that. And I agree with you that it doesn't even come anywhere near T2, right? Like it's definitely not in that stratosphere whatsoever. But there's some really cool concepts about, obviously everyone's talked about John Connor, dying in the beginning. And is Danny the name of the character, the one that's kind of like the concept of John Connor that would ultimately, at the end of the day,
Yes.
Yes, the female.
right?
Yes.
So that's kind of cool. Like it's saying that it's kind of a concept. It's not anything that's like that special about John Connor, but about this spark that could lead to everyone's salvation. So I really like that. The fact that it was taking place in Mexico and there's some Latinos. The fact that it is the woke stuff that I love to see. Eddie, I see you with your hand over your face. I can't believe you call this woke.
Watching this movie.
You ate it up, dude. You ate up exactly what they were trying to sell.
No,
to
but
you,
because
bro.
it's
This story is
different though,
exactly
right?
T2 though.
No,
how she's
that's
the
what
one.
they were trying to sell to you. They put on this fucking thing, and they're like, "This is what people are gonna think."
Well, it's just a different take, and that's what I appreciate. But John, you might not be wrong. Like, and I think that's the problem. Is it's just kind of generic overall. It's like nothing that we hadn't necessarily seen before, peppered in with some interesting concepts. And so ultimately, I think it fails as a movie, but it's not. I don't think it was nearly as bad as you all were saying, because I've seen bad Terminator, and that's 3 in Genesis. Like that shit was trash. I feel like this was kind of a little bit better than those.
I mean, T2, you got a kid that like his dad is not even born yet. That's just fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, so
In Star
called
Wars, you got
paradox.
your brother kissing his sister. So
Wow. Now that you put it that way.
Damn. So my thoughts on this movie. Okay. I don't think it's a good movie. Like, in a vacuum, I don't think it's a good movie. I think it's probably the third best Terminator. Now,
Wow.
that doesn't mean it's
Better than
1 to 3.
Salvation?
Yes, I think it's 2 is obviously up on a pedestal, then 1, and then like a football field, and then this one. You know what I mean? Now, after seeing all the other ones, I think I went into this with, if you can have negative expectations. I had negative expectations going into this movie, and so when I saw it, I think I was pleasantly surprised by it. I thought, it had a lot of cool stuff in it. It had a lot of cool scenes in it. I thought the CGI for the new Terminator was pretty cool concept. Some CGI was better than others, but I think overall, I think this movie entertained me. I wasn't going into it, with, like I said, any expectations. I was just going into it to be entertained. And I think it delivered on that one. So that's why I said it's a decent Terminator movie, if you want to call it that. I didn't get into the woke stuff and whatever you said. I thought that was, I guess I just didn't key in on it, but yeah, I think you could do worse. And like Marco said, they're called Terminator 3 in Genesis. So I like stuff exploding. I like robots. And so I thought it was good enough for me. But yeah, I would rather watch this versus Richie Rich. I'll say that. I'll say that loud and I'll say it proud.
Wow.
There's one good thing about Terminator 3.
I know how John feels about the reissues. I'll tell you that much.
What's that, Danny?
It's when they showed the origin of his voice. Remember they showed like the prototype of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the soldier, and he had like that golly voice, and then like the tech nerd whatever type on the computer, he had the real Terminator voice. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was in Terminator 3?
Yeah, that was when they were looking at the videos.
No, that was in Salvation.
I would argue to say you're not
was
a
that in
T2
Salvation?
fan if you like this movie.
No, it was in
Okay,
Terminator
never
3.
mind. Then Terminator 3 sucks then.
I didn't
See,
like.
that's why
I didn't like
Salvation's the
Grace.
best.
She's flipping augmented. What? She's augmented? What the fuck you mean she's augmented? She needs medication? Then fucking send her back and get me a robot over here then.
She's
Give me a
half
robot
bro.
here. She's not a robot.
Marco, let's talk about what you got going on 16 Fix.
Yeah, so we do owe our audience some unboxings here. We haven't unboxed the Razor Crest just yet. So we've got that upcoming, and then obviously this Golden Armor Wonder Woman. And we've, again, been really enjoying those unboxings where we get to interact with folks and talk about really, really stupid stuff, such as the figures' butts. And so having a really good time with those. And then we're also trying to do more, interaction with either people from our personal lives or people in the community. So we've got Ben Thomas and his fiancee Shauna coming on this Saturday. We're going to do an 11 a.m. stream. So I think that'll be kind of our regular time, and would love to have all you guys on and your significant others if applicable and they're comfortable coming on. But just kind of talking about the different ways people collect and what got us into this. So yeah, looking forward to that conversation with Ben.
What an absolute fucking angel, bro.
Yeah, so I think he's camera ready. He and I did a little test, and so it is 1/6 Fix. If you go check us out, and subscribe if you can, please.
Unrelated to anything you just said, but I was looking at your podcast feed the other day, and we've been trying to change our art for like 5 months. Like, I'll submit it doesn't go through. I'll submit it doesn't go through. Finally, I figured it out. So if you need advice on changing your podcast art to the new logo Manny made, holla at your boy, dude.
Okay,
it was an
thank
absolute
you.
fucking nightmare, bro.
Oh gosh.
Dean, you know what's not a nightmare? The sweet angels that keep the network going.
Bro, they're so beautiful, and it is my genuine pleasure to read their names at the end of every show. And I'm going to do that for you right now. So stick around. Sean Fear, Ian Seaby, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, Lemur Hernandez, King Louie, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Colley, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator. Love to see that. He's in the chat as well. Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krett, Big Ol' Fern, King Zach, Caesar Mariquin, Mike Cruz, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DeGregorio, Alvin Jules, the handsome, the lovely, the angry, the everyday collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, the illustrious Rainer, Aled Morgan, Tukathri, Wah, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Domaton, Bo LeBoyd, Jimmy James, Stephen Percha, Sean Usby on the panel tonight, Scott Bradley, Stephen Maria Stanley, Jesse Contreras, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of sweet angels.
Shout out to Don. We were kind of worried, with the clip, and he commented and said it was the funniest shit he's ever seen. So what a good support.
What a sweetheart.
You'll love to see it. In March, we got some great stickers for you guys for the Patreonies. We have the Pose Wars holographic sticker, one of the most popular shows on the network. You'll love to see that. We also have the Dylan sticker. So longtime host of Small Talk, the first ever host other than Dean and I believe, of Collecting Weekly, along with Ian and Pete. So definitely.
Never mind.
What's up, Frank?
What?
I was gonna say something, but never mind.
Shout out to Manny for the amazing artwork on that. And this is fucking awesome. So you love to see that. We have 3 tiers: the $5 Sweet Angel tier, stickers sent straight to your door, and access to Ox After Dark replay. The $15 a month tier, which is the certified crispy certificates and figure fix assistance. You also have the What a Guide tier at $25, the 18x24 silhouette poster, doubles of all the stickers we send, and all the benefits of the previous tiers. We have 2 posters we need to catch up on. Those will be shipping, I believe, in March. So bear with us on those. We do have some amazing YouTube channel members. We have MojoZ78, OG Fan, Absolute Irwin, Bema, Test Jess 1, Mark Pearson, DK Avenger 702, Ben Thomas, OMFG Rick, Justin Harass, Mike Oxlong, Paul Schreiber, S Beam, Andrew Gibo, Andres IB, CC3PO, and Daminator. A bunch of angels there. You can become a channel member for 99 cents. If you're a Patreon, if you're not, the lowest tier starts at $2.99, called the Peanut Gallery. With both of those, you'll get access to loyalty badges and emojis in the chat. If any of our members are in the chat, if you want to smash those emojis for us and show off the cool little emojis you can get. Our network, these are our active shows that are recording. So we have Collecting Weekly Live, OFAC Podcast, Small Talk, After Dark, In and Outs of Collecting, Collecting Weekly Live Unboxing, Bricks and Brews, The Ringcast, Live and Let Dice, Pose Wars, and Collectors Club. For the rest of the week, we have Wednesday 10:30 After Dark, OFAC Thursday at 2:30. I believe Pete is hosting OFAC. Ian is ill with COVID, so we're sending our thoughts and prayers to him. I think he's doing fairly well, though. But I believe they're having Andrew Keyboard Warriors / Iconic Studios on to talk about the Muhammad Ali figure that they dropped. So stay tuned for that. John, is this time correct? Friday at 10 for Collectors Club?
My apologies. Yes, it is correct.
And then Saturday at 10, we have Pose Wars. So we're getting some great community members there to come and participate. And remember, your votes and your banes decide the winner. Here's a look at our TeePublic. If you want to support the network, we got some new swag up there. Shirts start at $13 when they're on sale, and there's plenty of designs to choose from. John, if you can go ahead and read the social slide for me, that'd be great.
Sounds good. We got our main Facebook page, Collecting Weekly. We also have Collecting Weekly Auxiliary, a Facebook page. Guys, tune in. We're going to put up for Collectors Club. I mentioned it already. I want to see some of your collectibles, what you collect, photos. You post it there. We're going to feature it on the show on Friday. On Instagram, we got @CollectingWeekly, which is the main page. We have @CollectingWeekly_clips, all the funny moments and bloopers throughout each show. We have @the_everyday_collector. And we have @In and Outs of Collecting for statue updates and news.
Thank you very much. Do you guys have any shout outs that you want to give?
Yeah, I just want to shout out, well, not really a shout out, but if you're interested in supporting the channel and the Patreon membership is a little high, hit that YouTube button. That's a really cheap way of supporting us, and it helps out more than you probably know. So, and you get some cool little stickers. That's dope. People always send the 9.8, the big peps. Emojis. What did I say? Buttons?
Stickers?
Stickers, sorry. Well, they're digital stickers, so.
An NFT, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Usby and Fern. Fern's been a friend of ours for probably about 4 years, and I think this is your debut on the main show. So
is it really?
Shout out to Fern.
Wow.
It isn't, but it's been a really long time since
I think you were. I think you were on a pre-recorded
I've been
interview.
on like once or twice, but yeah, it's been a while.
We love you, Fern. Fern, also shout out Fern. He sent me a comic that I really needed today, and I didn't even know he was doing it. He just sent it randomly.
Wow,
must be nice.
Unfortunately, he was gonna send me this one, and I bought it I got it in the mail like the day he was gonna send it, and he was like, "Well, forget it." And he sent me another one, and I got it today. I didn't know he was doing it. I asked him for it, and he was like, "I'll think about it," and like never said anything.
See, Dean,
because I had already shipped it when you asked me. That's why I was like,
wow.
Everyone gives me shit for the "can I have it," but I'm telling you, when it works, it fucking works, bro.
Dude,
He had kind of offered it. I wasn't just like hand it over, but I'm not like
that worked. That worked for me the other day at Little Caesars. I was like, I really don't want to.
Can I have some more breadsticks?
Buying the pizza to get the posters. So I was just like, hey, do you guys still have the posters? And they're like, yeah, we also got the new ones that are gonna be, we're gonna be giving them out in a couple of days. He's like, nobody gets them, to be honest. Nobody ever asked for them. And I was like, can I have some? He was like, yeah. And then he was like, how many do you want? I was like, as many as you want to give me. And he opened up the new pack, gave me a whole bunch, and he gave me a whole bunch of the other ones. So I was like, hell yeah. Then I looked them up on eBay. They're going for like $17 a poster. I was like, damn.
Do you have to ask for them?
It's supposed to be like you get it with the purchase of like a special pizza.
Yeah, I've gotten that fucking thing twice, and I never got a poster. I was like, all right.
Well, if you don't get it, you could ask for it. But when I got it the first time, I didn't even know they were giving out the posters. They just gave it to me with the pizza. I was like, oh shit.
You'd love to see it. Anyone else have any shout-outs that they want to give before we cut this one off?
Zach, shout out to you for hooking it up with the 4K digital codes for Lord of the Rings for the trilogy. So we got through all 3 movies. And
it's funny how that happened because it was a prize and we sent it and the person never claimed it. And so I was like, if you don't want it, like I can just give it away again. And they're like, yeah, like I already had them. It's cool.
Hell yeah.
We tried to give it away again and it didn't get claimed again. So I've had this code like just burning a hole in my pocket, and I even put it up like a week before you asked for the Patreon chat. I was like, here, if anyone wants it, use the code, and no one used it. And then finally you were like, yo, I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings, and I was like, bro, use this code for the love of God.
Perfect timing. Yeah, thank you for that. So good excuse for me to revisit, and Gigi ended up loving them. So
shout out to everyone in the chat today for sticking with us throughout the entire show. My rampage, love you guys.
I'll do a shout out. Sorry, I'll do a shout out. It's my wife's birthday tomorrow, so she's turning 37 years.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Miss
birthday,
Usby.
Lacey.
Miss Usby?
Yes.
Happy
Miss
birthday,
Usby.
Lacey. Eddie, do you want to give a shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Pudgy for tuning in. Appreciate it, man. And then Ian, get well soon. I didn't know Ian was sick, so.
Yeah, he's sick of our shit.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. We love Ian. We wish him all the health. He seemed to be in good spirits when I talked to him last, so
good.
You know, definitely hope he gets well soon. But anyways, I love you guys. It's been a great show tonight. Episode 204 in the books. My name is Zach. I'm Dean. I'm Eddie.
I'm Dean.
I'm Eddie.
God damn it.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Danny.
I'm Fern.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Marco.
Jesus Christ. We're never...
And
we're
Two Knuckleheads.
not doing
Pancake.
this ever again.
Hashtag get it right the first time.